Crossover. Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover. It just crossed him over nastily.
Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
It's time for the crossover with Matt Josh.
But no.
As you might be able to see, if you're watching on YouTube, this chair is empty. He was looking at the clock a lot.
Oh, yeah, he brought something. He has a prop.
A gift.
Ding, ding. Brought popsicles.
He brought popsicles.
Ding ding man coming.
I'm the ding ding man.
What?
See?
What'd you bring?
I brought.
Popsicle brand popsicles?
Yes.
Just regular? Classic. I like that. Simple.
Here you go.
did.
I'm the ding ding.
A lot of people overthink
To celebrate a
the
great
frozen
week,
novelty
a
treat
ding
game.
ding. I brought ding ding.
We're supposed to eat these on air.
Well, if you want to, I don't know. It's a nice little bit.
What are they all one color? You turn your microphone. Here.
Orange cherry grape.
Orange cherry and grape, and they're sugar free because I know we're all men watching our figures.
So you're not even gonna ask what color is my favorite.
They don't even say what color it is.
Yeah, it's a blind
It's
draw.
kind of a
You gotta hold
blind
it up to the
draw.
light. Yeah.
Now, is it okay?
I think this one is strawberry.
While I very much appreciate
think
the
that's one of
gesture,
yours.
You could say
is
no.
it
It was
okay
for a
if
bit.
I say no because I have to eat
Don't worry about it.
soon. I want to eat. I want to eat
You
a
want one?
sandwich.
I'm also out.
Wow, this is
What?
the most.
Where are you going? What are you doing?
Tell you what, to be part of the bid, I'll do it.
Me and Schaefer are going to the same sandwich place, but at
Whoa.
different locations.
Oh.
Inadvertently unplanned.
Inadvertently.
You were
unplanned.
talking to Sam McEwen yesterday, and he said you should devise a sandwich for every coach. And I was immediately hooked
Yeah.
and didn't care anything else Sam had to say after that.
Uh-huh.
We have considered that idea, and it's something that we can probably do.
He was dead on.
In
Doc
the
Sadler
off.
had to be a barbecue sandwich with a side of Mountain Dew.
100%. Sam was absolutely on fire yesterday.
He was.
Sam had a great time. Oh, Schaefer got orange.
Orange is good.
Terrible.
I was really worried I was going to get grape.
Oh, grape would have been the best. I would have done a trade if I got
I
would have got grape.
I caught the Brian Christopherson interview today. I always love it when you guys talk to BC, and I caught the beginning when you asked him about Ding Ding Man.
Yeah,
and the idea that Brian was like, I didn't even think anybody else would call it differently.
Mhm.
Just immediately, and Schaefer was like, you Omaha people. Like thinking that the world is just yours and everyone conforms
Everybody
to you.
lives in their own little
I'm going to tell you right
bubble.
now,
It's not just
Schaefer,
Omaha people.
this is how I felt for the last 2 years. Okay, I'm just all you guys do things that I would like that are weird, but then I'm the weird one for not doing those weird things, like how I speak.
No,
Well, you do
Matt,
speak weird.
Matt, you are.
I speak weird.
I mean, you are different. You're
out there.
Yeah.
You're built different.
But the Ding Ding Man is ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend like that's not ridiculous, but at the same time, I also didn't know it any other way. But I'm also not calling you weird for not calling it the Ding Ding Man.
Good
Like,
point.
do we get that?
I do get that.
That's,
I
I'm
do
not.
understand that.
I'm not going to attack you guys for not calling it the Ding Ding Man because.
Did you lose your popsicle? Did you drop your popsicle? How?
It just dropped out onto the floor.
So you're saying it leapt?
Yeah, it was already open.
How
It was
is
already
everything a
open.
calamity with you?
I don't know, man. I had no idea. I just pulled out the popsicle.
You're a
Feel
fascinating
and hold the stick
individual.
before you even open the wrapper of
Well,
the
I got to get a
popsicle.
new pop now.
Hey, by the way, you did put those in the refrigerator. Are you going to put them back in the?
Yeah, I'll
fridge?
put it back in the
All right.
freezer.
All right, good. That's good.
How am I supposed to
Interesting.
know it was already open?
It wasn't
There's
open.
no way it was.
It wasn't open. You either opened it
Uh-huh.
and then tried to open it on the other side, like you had forgotten that you had opened it on the one side. I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Yeah.
It's like you had a bag of chips and you opened it on one side and then tried to open it on the other side and then was surprised that the chips dumped out.
And then blame the bag.
It was the bag. Whoa! I thought it was about to pop out again.
Yeah.
Obviously, the bag has its issues. I hope I get cherry again.
Yeah, you had like a purple one that time. That one looked
Yeah.
good.
Got another one. Look at that.
Damn, nice. But that's great though.
Yeah, I prefer a grape.
Me too. I agree
Probably-
with you.
Probably
Yeah.
grape over orange. What'd you get, Josh? Hudson?
Yeah, now I got to know what I got. Oh, I got orange.
What's the other one? Green.
Ick.
Oh! What is the problem with the midday show? and popsicle.
Damn it! Just for context,
It was so slippery.
Now you have Matt spitting all over the microphone.
Josh dropped a popsicle and it broke in half, and now the other half is just on the desk.
How am I the only person that can open the popsicle and not drop it?
Well, you're definitely the most mature.
Well, that's true. Clear.
I mean, incredibly low bar.
Cut it off.
What is
Are
happening?
you guys okay?
I got questions for the people at the Popsicle Corporation.
There is no stability on these popsicles. I cannot. I mean, it just broke. I mean, it's got to have a little. I mean, too much give.
Probably because you dropped it on the floor before 10 times.
No, I threw that one away.
What even happened with that box before it got here?
I just grabbed it from the
That's
CVS.
a good question.
Yeah, was it dropped on the ground 6 times between then and now?
No, but I got really mad at the CVS self checkout today because it just took too long. It just asked me all these questions. Do I want to round up, enter your PIN? You know, you have to pay, do this, tap that, blah, blah, blah. Just get out of here.
Would you like a mile-long receipt with that?
Yeah.
Sit Destroyer in the YouTube chat. Not even 10 minutes ago, Matt was complaining about how you guys called him weird.
That is interesting, isn't it? He's also now currently trying to glue his popsicle back together with his own saliva.
I mean, now my hands, though, my fingers are a little frozen. And now Schaefer looks like a little kid sucking his popsicle laughing.
This is disgusting.
Kenneth in the chat, the Zone Boys were hitting the pipe found at the studio, which makes me ask you guys, did you hear they found a pipe outside at the top of that staircase right outside our window?
Oh, nice. What a nice place to light up.
And Matt,
I was
Matt
asked
didn't know
if it
what it
was my
was.
pipe.
I had no idea what it was. They gave it to me. I was like, what is this thing?
They let him hold it. It was in a Ziploc baggie, and he tried to pull it out, and we're like, no, don't put your fingerprints on that, buddy.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
They told me it was paraphernalia. And I go, memorabilia from what concert?
What the hell?
I'm not a weed guy. I like Budweiser. You know,
I'm not a weed guy. I like Budweiser.
I don't do weed. I don't.
I mean,
I
you
don't
were
know.
in college for 4 years.
I don't smoke a pipe.
Recently.
You know, I had one friend. She had a bong, but other than that, you know, I wasn't really a paraphernalia guy.
If the person that you know had a bong, they also definitely had a pipe.
I'm sure she did.
Stibbs says, just so you guys know, you can like them both.
That is true. Also, he's still trying to glue his popsicle back together.
I'm like Mace Windu.
You could just eat at this point. Just
It's
eat
a lost
it.
cause. Yeah.
Yeah, just eat it.
But it's hard because my teeth are sensitive.
Yeah, we got a comment earlier. Gosh, I want to go back and see how this was phrased. The thing about how Matt's generation doesn't know what plungers are.
Oh yeah.
What's that now?
Do you know what plungers do?
They unclog a toilet.
Okay. Have you ever used one before?
I own one. Yeah, I'm the plunger guy in my house.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
I thought he would be Mr. Plunger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the
When-
record.
That makes sense.
But there was a theory that came in.
when you're the culprit, you know, you got to learn how
That's
to
what
do
I
it.
thought. I
You
said
know?
Matt looks like a guy who's
Clogged toilets.
clogged toilets.
When
Yeah.
when we have a bathroom problem at my house, believe it or not, I'm the one who does it.
You take care of
because-
it for everybody?
Yes, because my abuelo would do that.
Oh, really?
My abuelo would do that, and then I would be my grandfather's little helper growing up. So I've actually learned the inner workings of how to fix the toilet and how to fix the little handle
But
and
you
the
do it
lever.
when
and-
other people clog it?
in my house,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's kind of crazy.
I think what he's saying is when there's a plumbing issue, he's the one to go solve.
that's more so what I'm saying.
I
I'm
don't
trying
think
to
it's
think.
always
Yeah,
he's
no,
there
I don't think I've
blasting
ever
up
done that. Yeah,
clog.
I don't think Dad has ever been like, I clogged it, Matt, go and fix it.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
I've never done that. But I definitely have, like, there have been toilet problems, and I've been the one to, you know, go and look
we
at the
got a real
toilet.
clay pool in here.
I don't know why the theory came up or what the
Yeah, I don't know what it's based off
or
of.
what the basis
But
was.
we wanted to test it on you because the last time this came
No.
up, it was about your generation being into feet, and you
Yeah.
confirmed that you guys are real footophiles.
I bought a nice plunger for my current apartment. It's
Oh, it
probably
was-
the one thing that I
A
spent a little
nice plunger.
like it's got a
You
it's
got a
like-
high-end plunger.
it's like a metal like
have Bluetooth on it.
It's not like one that has like it's a plastic one, you know, that has
Sure.
like you know, a
You got a
plastic.
wooden handle.
I have a wooden handle, and I have like a metal thing that
A
I
red
put it
suction.
in. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's a double suck, so it's like
Sure.
it's the ones of the smaller.
You got a
but
standard plunger.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's no. But I spent a little. It's not like a, you know, it wasn't the cheapest plunger at Target. It was on the medium to high.
You know
tier.
they do make stuff that's cheaper.
It's the
than
Rolls Royce
standard.
of plungers. That's what they're saying.
What is the quote from a Connor Happer classic was that?
So I was just trying to tap into Eugene Levy on vacation when he sells him the car. You got it, the family truckster. It's a damn fine automobile. Or whatever he said.
How many Connor Happer classics are there?
We have come up with 11 so far.
There's more. 'Cause
There's
There's
more.
at least a couple that we've
Yeah.
forgotten that you will get giddy when you remember.
Does anybody want to hear the list that we have
Yes,
created?
I
so
think
far?
it's an incredible list.
So we're going to use these starting next week. So if you're listening right now, you get a little heads up. These are some of the movies that we're going to play clips from, and you could win stuff. Where do we start here? Obviously, we talked about Mr. Deeds today.
Yes.
Mr. Deeds is on there. We have The Terminal, which is maybe proportionate to Society, the movie that I like most.
Without a doubt. You are the only person that I have heard talk about Igor Nagorsky.
Victor
Navorsky.
Navorsky.
I'm
Do
sorry.
you have an appointment?
You're the only person I've heard talk,
you.
quote, and rave about that movie. The only reason I know about that movie is that it was a YouTube short thing. I'd never heard about it before that.
I would imagine that's the case with many of these. 51st Dates. I love 51st Dates comparative. So the baseline is, do I like it comparative to Society, like disproportionate to Society? Now, there are still some popular ones. The Hangover, I still love it proportionate to Society.
Happer believes it built Vegas.
I believe that it is a socially consequential movie. Yes.
You're looking at me and snickering, and he generally.
I think Vegas was doing fine
we
before the
had
Hangover.
Many people felt that.
We have a long debate on
One person did not.
We have a long debate on how culturally important The Hangover is.
And saying that the Hangover was important to Vegas is saying that like money.
What do you know? That movie came out when you were 4.
It came out when I was 10. All right, and I saw it in theaters.
It came out in 2009. You weren't 10.
I was 7.
Split the diff.
Matt back.
I still watched it. Right.
I'm not saying you didn't.
I'm telling you right now, it's like saying that Moneyball built the MLB is saying that the Hangover
That's not saying
built
that.
Vegas. Yes, it is.
I'm not.
Yes, it is. Schaefer totally agrees
No, I'm
with
with
me.
Happer on the sense that your comparison is not.
Yes, it is. Vegas was totally fine without the Hangover.
I don't mean this to be a criticism, but sometimes your
What's that?
comparisons.
Because I know the criticism's coming.
Well, no,
I don't mean this to be a criticism. Okay, here
This
it
is
comes.
not a critique.
I guess it is a criticism, but it's constructive. Sometimes your comparisons miss the mark.
A little
wildly.
bit. A little bit. Mm-hmm.
That one was not one of them.
I think you
Anyway.
get so excited to make them that they don't quite land how you want.
So Stibbs just mentioned
Welcome
Connor
to the
Happer
show.
Classic.
Welcome to Middays
my
with
first
Matt.
time.
Yeah.
Thanks for the popsicle.
You need to listen to the show. All right, that's what it is.
I believe I was the one that once wrote in, listening to you is, I always want to respond to everything.
That's true. It's really quite.
So
the-
I have to
quite
stop
the show.
myself from texting you all the time when I do listen.
Josh,
So,
Matt came in this morning and he started asking me questions because I heard you guys were going to grunt the slate today. And he had a very different thought on how to do it
He
than
was amazed at how simple the segment is.
I thought I was going to have to use my fancy football brain.
Well, when a
but
segment's called Grunt the Slate, it really leaves it open to interpretation.
does.
For what's
it,
happening.
it makes you really think that it's highbrow.
yeah,
But
I thought Grunt the Slate was going to be like Top 10 Tuesday, where Josh gives a top 10 and then I just break down his own top 10.
Nope.
It's just Josh grunting.
You're
Apparently,
just reading, baby.
clearly, I'd never listened to Grunt the Slate when I was
It's
a
been a
Connor
while.
Happer.
Everyone needs a refresher.
there's slate to
Fan.
be grunted this
The Connor
weekend.
Happer show was my favorite show to listen to when I wasn't on the midday.
And now it's dead.
It is dead.
No, it's not.
I'm
You
so
can hear
happy
it for
it's
2
dead.
hours after Bowling Green.
What?
Which Big Red Overreaction
yeah.
are we doing? Bowling Green?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's right. Yeah, game 2.
Yeah, Josh, have fun, but not too much fun.
Not too
all right?
much.
Vegas Vacation is a core Connor Happer classic. There's no doubt about that. Stibbs is mentioning it in the chat right now, as is, for the record, National Lampoon's Vacation. I know people love that movie, but like I
Connor loves it
still
more.
love that movie, you know. We mentioned The Hangover.
Sorry.
What's
Did
it?
you enjoy the remake of that at all?
I watched it.
So no.
Enjoy is a strong word.
You can just say no.
You just say no.
I
yeah,
think
just say no.
the answer is no.
I saw it at the Mall of America on a vacation with my wife, and I don't remember anything else about it.
Andy Bernard was
Ed Helms.
he was.
Was-
He was Rusty.
Hey,
Was
who-
Chris Hemsworth in it? Like in a
There was a
cameo?
lot of cameos.
Here's one we need to add: The Housemaid. That's a Connor Happer classic. You just liking the movie immediately makes it more proportional than Society.
I mean,
Just a pure like.
I didn't mind it. I did.
A pure a not minding it makes it a Connor Happer classic if it's too
It's in
Society.
consideration.
I believe it hits the numbers on the rubric
It does
correctly.
Yeah. Are
yeah.
you going to The Housemaid too?
I don't know.
I mean,
Okay.
I think
you
the fact
got to.
that there's a Housemaid 2, meaning if Happer just liked it, he's like everybody else.
No,
They made a second
that ain't the
movie.
reason there's a Housemaid too, buddy boy.
The author of that
I
book,
mean, it did well at the box office. That's the reason there's a Housemaid 2.
she
but-
puts out a book every week. Like, she's at a Stephen King.
Frida something?
Yeah, she puts out a Stephen King level. Like,
I was making a Sydney Sweeney joke.
I got where you were going.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I do.
As long as you
sometimes pick
know,
up
as
what
long as
you're
you know where I'm going, that's all I can ask.
I'm aware of what the allure of that movie is.
Yeah, I'm just as long as
It's
not
called
my
the Sydney
path.
Sweeney and her boobs movie.
yeah,
That's
what it's called.
That's what I was calling it. I texted Josh immediately after I got out of the theater.
Hey,
I
I
was
saw that
amazed.
Sydney Sweeney boobs movie. I was like, oh, really? What'd you think? I haven't seen it yet. And it's on
And it
Stars.
was amazing
so I still
how
can't
much
watch it.
of a character her boobs
Oh.
were.
Do you need my Stars account?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Just 3 days ago, I really need to stop and some
It ain't
subscriptions.
mine. That's my dad. My dad's got it.
Ah,
I'll just give him Mike's login.
How many accounts do you use that aren't your own?
37. I don't know. I have no idea.
Do you have any accounts that are your own?
I don't really
Well,
use.
you got the Pro Football Focus.
Can I be honest? I mean, I have access to all of the things. Okay.
You have the account that lets you change the lights on your desk.
Yeah, I have access to all of the things, but to be honest with you, I don't really use things that I don't personally pay for. I guess Disney Plus might be the only thing I consistently use.
Okay.
Do
Do you not use Netflix?
No, not really.
Okay.
Like I don't watch movies, and YouTube TV. Like that's
Just
my
wait
cable.
till Netflix, TikTok.
I
comes
guess the
out.
one thing I
Yeah.
really do use that I don't pay for is MLB TV.
I was gonna say. I'm
And-
guessing roommate Dan,
and roommate Dan pays for it.
Yeah.
But I pay for Sunday Ticket.
which is
so-
more expensive.
Yeah, so that's kind of the trade-off. So
Nice.
also roommate Dan has to, deal with certain Matt McMasterisms. So that's what the gap is. Go ahead, continue your
You wanna hear some more?
classic. Yes.
Okay, so there's the common ones, the ones that everybody like. Catch Me If You Can. I love them. The other guys is on here. We have some of the lesser Castaway, which I was recalling, Josh, the segment the other day where I did like 7 straight minutes on just describing all the things that happened in Castaway, and I thought it was, just an all-time great segment by us. And then we have
What a segment!
we have a couple of true, in their purest form, Connor Happer classics. Cat in the Hat.
CHCs, we call them.
Yeah. Cat in the Hat with Mike Myers
So funny.
and Kangaroo Jack. With that one guy.
I saw Cat in the Hat when I was like
with
6.
Anthony Anderson and Jerry O'Connell.
Which you had a coworker once who felt like that was
Yeah.
the worst movie ever made, and it made him so mad when he found out that you actually liked it.
He was very unhappy. He was very unhappy with me. Yeah, Jerry O'Connell's the star of Kangaroo Jack. You probably know him more commonly from your favorite
I thought
podcast.
Anthony Anderson was a star of Kangaroo.
He is. They
well,
co-star.
It's a two-hander.
When I saw
And then, of course, the
When you got
kangaroo.
billings like that. Yeah.
when I saw Jerry O'Connell on Part of My Take, I was like, oh my God, that's Georgie from The Big Bang Theory. That's what I first thought.
Interesting.
Yeah, not the guy
Okay.
who married Rebecca Romaine.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I didn't even know that. I just thought he was the guy from Kangaroo Jack my whole life.
Huh.
What is Kangaroo Jack?
Oh,
I've
okay.
never.
should
What
Google it
isn't
right now.
Kangaroo Jack?
Google it. Google me.
Two friends from Brooklyn are forced to deliver mob money to Australia. This is a children's movie, by the way. Their misadventures begin when one of them places his red jacket on a kangaroo while attempting to snap
Jackie
a picture.
Legs.
When the kangaroo bounces off, they realize the mob money is in the jacket and are forced to give chase through the
Spoiler
outback.
alert. Jeez.
Euro Trip? Is that a Connor Happer classic?
I mean, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think I like that one disproportionately to society.
What a cast Kangaroo Jack has. Anthony Anderson, Jerry O'Connell, we've been over that. Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Michael Shannon, who's a very well-respected character actor now.
That guy was, he was great in that movie. Great
Probably
villain.
because Michael Shannon only has one level and it's to invest every fiber of his being in the role.
Yeah.
So it could be a campy, terrible movie, but you're getting Michael Shannon's best no matter what.
Who's the woman in this movie?
Oh, great question. I don't know. I don't remember her. I mean, she was hot in the movie.
She looks.
But yeah. I don't know her. Find that out, Josh. I don't know.
Yeah, get on that. Jamie?
It is a Thursday.
Jamie, find that out for us, please.
All right.
Let's see. Estella
Warren.
Estella Warren. I don't know.
Was she a This Week in Women's History?
She was not. She was in the Planet of the Apes remake, which is terrible.
She definitely met the criteria.
She was in the terrible Sylvester Stallone F1 movie Driven.
Estella Warren about This Week in Women's History. I met the criteria.
She's
the list.
47.
That's
surprising.
something I noticed about her as well.
Her age.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's surprising. She retired from acting.
Oh.
I'm done acting. After Kangaroo Jack, she's like, doesn't get any better than this.
A token episode of Law and Order because every actor has to.
She did, though, get arrested in 2011 after she allegedly hit 3 parked cars with her Toyota Prius and then fled the scene.
Can't be doing
what's wrong with that?
The police eventually found her and she was arrested for driving under the influence.
That's what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
She's a world-class synchronized
During the arrest,
swimmer.
she allegedly kicked an officer and resisted being handcuffed. Her bail was set at $100,000. Goodness.
Rob writes in, and yet Predator still has not been added to the Connor Happer classic movie list. Sad.
You don't like Predator
did,
disproportionate to society?
Predator was the movie that ended Connor and Josh's movie podcast.
That's right.
Why?
We had a movie podcast.
I had no idea.
Oh yeah, Josh, you want to tell them?
I would pick a movie that quote unquote every guy should see, and we would discuss it. We did Terminator 2, and Connor really hated the kids in Terminator 2, and which, to his credit, they are pretty annoying. I had not realized that.
Can I be real with you? I've never rewatched the first 2 Harry Potter movies because kid actors annoy the crap out of me.
Oh wow!
And then I believe, I don't know, around episode 12 or something like that, I picked Predator because that's a guy movie, and
I haven't seen it.
I'm not watching that.
There was like 2 movies in there that I was really happy that we did.
The Godfather was
one of them. Obviously, I'd never seen The Godfather before Josh told me to watch The Godfather.
Wow, you and I both.
Yeah, and then the second one,
It's
which
Josh's role here at the Zone.
I'm very happy that I saw, was the one with Sly Stallone, and he's a truck driver and he's arm wrestling.
Over the Top.
I'm so happy that I saw that movie.
That guy drank motor oil.
I would never have seen that movie if not for Josh. Truly.
I kind of want the list of these movies now.
I
think I'm more interested in this list than the CHCs because I know most of them.
They were all Josh movies, though. That was the funniest part. It was like movies that Josh just really liked.
We still, I still have a list that I have to watch from Josh, and I knocked 3 out very rapidly, and then I've since taken a break.
I now very much want a podcast where it's Happer having a different person give him a movie, and then he watches it and then asks that individual why they like the movie so much.
I mean, that basically was that podcast.
I know, but it's like with different. Obviously, you have Josh, but you move around to different people.
Yeah, I think like it'd be even better though.
Why do you like this?
If we did it, if we did it with like movie critics though, because like they could be like. The inner meaning and the thoughts and the actions between the mom and the dad and the daughters all come together, and Happer goes, yeah, but the house looks stupid. It's just a dumb looking house.
Okay,
I couldn't get over how dumb the house looked.
I have the list.
You want to see how many of these I've seen?
Terminator 2.
Okay.
Let's see. Over the Top.
Okay.
Lethal Weapon.
Okay.
The Godfather. Bloodsport. I forgot about that one.
This is just a list of movies from the 80s.
Exactly. That's what it was.
Fight Club.
Okay, that's not the 80s.
Yeah.
Neither's Godfather, but
Blazing Saddles.
80s.
I mean, The
Or
Godfather
late
could be an
70s.
80s movie at this point. Who cares,
Top Gun. Shawshank.
I'm surprised the Naked Gun isn't in here yet.
Ha! I hadn't seen.
I believe that's it.
Okay, so
the Hurt
Shawshank.
Locker. You do the Hurt Locker.
No. Shawshank was pretty influential because I guess I didn't realize I hadn't seen Shawshank until then.
Wow.
I mean, now I've seen it lots of times.
Well, it's on linear television all the time.
All the time, yeah.
I mean, it is the quintessential TNT movie.
I was in college before I saw it, and it was like a lot of my roommates' favorite movie, and they just couldn't believe I had never seen it. So I got it off of Netflix.
It's a good movie.
Good job by you, Josh.
Some people call it the
Great list.
the greatest movie of
I think
all
it's Josh
time.
Peterson's favorite.
It is.
It's a good movie. It's a very good movie.
Yeah, it's no Dumb and Dumber.
It's
It
no
is not
Terminal.
Dumb and Dumber.
That's a Connor Hamper classic.
Yeah, you got to put that. Well, I mean, but that's like a given.
Well, it
Right.
wasn't on there, so now it is.
That's like putting George Washington on the Mount Rushmore.
And then
Like everyone
obviously, I do love Cat in the Hat.
Which I had not seen, which we thought about doing an inverse
Yeah.
of producer Josh's film school where Connor gives me a movie that he likes that
Connor
I
Hamper
haven't seen.
classics.
Yeah.
And
So what'd you think when you saw Cat in the Hat?
I was shocked at how many dirty jokes were in that children's movie.
It's
Do you know what's a movie?
It kills me.
Kind of, it's not a Michael Myers movie, but it's on the same wavelength. My generation loves the Grinch movie with Jim Carrey. There are a lot of memes and jokes and just people like girls who dressed up as Jim Carrey as the Grinch for Halloween.
I think that expands beyond your generation. Like I think that's just a fairly popular.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, this is
movie.
just me thinking Gen Z creates everything.
Well, no, it's
Classic.
possible. I didn't want to go that far, but
You can
I
go
think
that
that's
far.
just like
It's okay.
a relatively popular movie.
I do see the kids are doing a lot of who's that little orange fuzzy guy?
The Lorax?
Yes.
I was going to say something else before Matt jumped in there. Thank you.
Not that guy.
I was thinking Oompa Loompa.
I said-
so I was like way up.
He's
No,
correct.
Oompa Loompas
where,
aren't fuzzy.
where he's going is correct.
I've never held an Oompa Loompa. I wouldn't know.
They don't. Do they look fuzzy?
Do you know
to
there was
No, they do not
in
look
the
fuzzy.
in the remake with
They look
Johnny
hard.
Depp? In the remake with Johnny Depp, they used only one guy as the Oompa Loompa in Charlie and the Chocolate
Was
Factory.
it Andy Serkis?
I've doubled him.
And they CGI'd him or whatever.
Mhm.
And I don't know if he's still
Oh,
with
yeah.
us.
The Johnny Depp version of Willy Wonka.
I've never seen it.
It was good, but man, it was not nearly as good as the other one.
Yeah,
I love the Johnny Depp.
Dude,
one.
that
there's
Charlie
only one Willy
Bucket-
Wonka and it's Gene Wilder.
That Charlie Bucket
You
they had
lose!
with his teeth, with his sharp little teeth. Disgusting, terrifying, but awesome.
So anyway, I'm pretty sure that guy, the singular actor for who was Deep Roy was his name. He was the singular actor for the Oompa Loompa. This guy?
He has passed.
Oh,
Yes.
I've seen that.
No,
guy.
he's still
Oh,
around.
sorry.
He's
sorry.
still. I thought he did too. I'm pretty sure he used to kill at a
That
Comic-Con.
guy has been in many things. That
He's a
he
good
had a
Oompa
very,
Loompa.
very familiar looking face.
He was the R2D2 body double.
Those guys aren't fuzzy. Anyway, the
Lorax.
the Lorax guy. What's up with that? What's up with the Lorax?
I think it's just funny. I think also there was a cartoon animated movie that came out when we were about 10, 11, 12, 13 years
What
old.
was that called?
The Lorax.
All right.
That's one of my son's favorite movies.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
And it's like where it's like I speak
pretty
for
good.
the trees and like there's some good songs in it. And
Because I
like,
still see some Lorax stuff out there.
yeah, no, it was a classic. It was
Taylor
a classic.
Swift's in it.
It was a classic cartoon movie
Another
for me growing up.
another Ed Helms joint.
Yeah, Ed Helms is great in it.
Yeah.
You know,
John Bishop
there's like
says,
what was the evil? I'm bad, I be. I'm just doing bam bam for me. How bad can I be?
I don't know about that one.
The Lorax movie cartoon. Let me see what year it came out because that's why it's big. Because once again, it came out when we were young.
John
Taylor-
Bishop says
Taylor
when
Swift's in it. Betty
the
White.
Oompa Loompas
Betty
go
White is
2
great
days
in it.
without shaving, they are fuzzy.
Okay.
2012 is when it came out. So that's why Gen Z likes it. We were like 10 to 8 to 15 when it came out. It was a wide range. Wide
weird
range
way
of
to word
ages.
that.
What age does Gen Z encompass?
I
That's a
don't know,
great question.
97 to 2012, I think, or 2010.
Hey, not to take us off topic. Good Morning Football stealing our bit.
Oh,
Who was
Go
a
ahead.
musical guest on SNL March 24th, 2007?
Oh,
C,
07?
Snow Patrol.
They're just reliving old SNLs.
Got to be B, Lincoln Park. No.
So when you
It's
guys
too-
complain
seemed
about
like the most
It was
like-
too late for Avril. Too late for Avril Lavigne.
And was it?
She was already dead by then.
And it was too
Remember?
early. Too early for Carrie Underwood.
well,
correct?
would Carrie Underwood be the football connection? Is that why this is on Good Morning
Yeah,
Football?
but that would be. This is no. They're setting up. They're setting up for Kyle. This is all for Kyle Brandt to rant about. Dang it! It was Carrie Underwood.
Carrie Underwood.
I thought they were setting up for Kyle Brandt to rant about Snow Patrol like he does. He's like, no one likes Snow Patrol like I like Snow Patrol.
Wait, really?
That's his thing. He
Really?
he just complains about
That
like
was
how
his thing?
Kyle
he
Brandt
likes,
really likes Snow Patrol.
Huh.
No, Kyle Brandt's bit is that he likes things that are niche and then gets mad at people for not liking those niche things.
oh, okay.
Like the Pro Bowl.
Gen
Yes.
Z 97 to 12, apparently.
Okay, so
I was right.
Matt was in the range 8 to 10 to 15. He said it in a weird way.
8
10
to-
to 8 to 15.
I was actually spot on. Actually, 97 to 12 is right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I do kind of disagree with that though, because like people born in 97 had almost a whole childhood without touch devices, and people born in 2012 knew nothing but touch devices.
That's
for their
the problem
childhood.
with the generation labels encompasses a wide swath.
It's way too.
Like
But
BC and I are both millennials, but we had a very different,
I would almost.
experience.
I mean, I can't. Once again, I don't want to be over my skis and talk about things that I wasn't born during. But I do think that divide. I wouldn't be shocked if it's like the widest divide in terms of generations. Like there is such a stark contrast
Could be, yeah.
between what happened in 97 to 12 than maybe any other 15-year divide. Just from
the
a
greatest
pure-
generation.
Well, no, I'm not talking about boomers. We are not. Gen Z's not the greatest generation yet. Till we're all in Congress and we're all making the laws, and then we'll tell everybody how great our generation was.
Okay.
We survived COVID. You guys could never do that.
So what you're telling me is like the difference between 1995 and 2010 is greater than that of the gap between like 1980 and 1965.
Once again, I can't speak to it, but
You just said that though.
I was.
His life
I
experience.
said I
say yes.
imagine that 15, just from a pure childhood standpoint as well, of like kids in 97 didn't grow up with like they did not grow up with just always having iPads around. By the time they got to iPads, they had a full.
Why is
childhood.
it just iPads with you people?
iPads
All
is
you
a
ever
big
talk
deal.
about is if we did or didn't have iPads.
That is a massive shift.
I just saw
It's a massive shift.
like iPads are like since they've been introduced in the last year has seen like record low sales of tablets.
Yeah, nobody even has iPads.
People are out on tablets, which is odd because my child's life
people
revolves
born-
around his
people
tablet.
Because
born-
the phone has gotten close enough to the size of
I
the
guess,
tablet
yeah,
that you can
maybe.
largely do whatever you need with your phone to make the tablet.
People born
unnecessary.
pre 2010 and people born post 2010 had completely different childhoods. Not even close. Not even remotely close childhoods. Had completely different upbringings. And to say that they are in the same generation is a little ridiculous. I don't know, so I can't speak to 65 to 80.
But you are calling them ridiculous.
What?
You just said that it's ridiculous.
No, they had ridiculously different childhoods. People born pre 2000 and post 2010.
Yeah, it was so
it's very
so
different.
the people were born after 1969. We landed on the moon. Before 1969.
I can't speak to it, but like you still had a lot of the same technology. I mean, I think the gap in technology from 97 to 12 is a lot wider than the gap in technology from 65 to 80.
That's what you were saying.
Yeah. And so I think that causes a massive divide in terms of how those generations grew up.
I don't know, man. Cassette tapes really changed things.
There were inventions that happened in that time period.
But none more bigger than the tablets.
iPads?
And yes, none more. The iPad was a massive creation.
I think you have an
The iPad
enhanced view
had-
of the iPad.
The iPad had a insanely societal shift. Our society was completely different after the iPad.
I'm not saying that you're 100% wrong, but I am curious about the iPad's real impact on society.
The
I
iPad.
don't know that the iPad is markedly different than if you were born where a personal computer would be in your home in a way that it wouldn't.
But you can't. You didn't take your personal computer on a plane. You could take an iPad on a plane.
No, but Matt,
right?
You have to understand. Before personal computers, you didn't have one.
No, sure, but I'm also saying though that you used to like not your kid would be away from the home and didn't have any technology. Now, when your kid is away from the home, they're always in front of technology.
No, we have these video games that you could play where
I had a Game
one guy
Boy.
would throw a baseball and you would hit it, and then it'd be the same guy throwing the baseball and the same guy swinging.
I think there is a big difference between the Game Boy and the DS and what the iPad was able to provide. And also too now iPads.
Well, I'm not even talking about Game Boy.
iPads went into schools, and now like I had to have an iPad all 4 years in high school. I think it has a massive impact on society.
This is going to surprise you, but
Gen Z
computers went into schools too,
and they got replaced by iPads.
They did.
So
they're cheaper.
Great crossover.
Shout out to iPads, man.
We had a lot of different.
I didn't realize how
topics there.
cool they were.
I love an iPad. That's the crossover. Middays with that coming up next on the 1620 Zone Radio Network.
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're gonna hurt some people. Whose car are we gonna take?
I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest.
That's an absolutely horse crap call. Make room for Daddy. But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Chicago is.
This is Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
You went Lee Corso there.
Oh, yeah.
Right
I was like, get rid of this. Get rid of this chair. Out of here. Bleep it. Sure. Middays Matt live and rolling on the 1620 The Zone Radio Network. It's Red Out Week, baby. Boo.
Never thought we'd get here.
Never thought we would.
After that bowl loss to Utah. It's like, man.
We have traveled far. We have traveled high. We've traveled low. We've traveled wide. But we are back in football season. Stony Brook and Delaware State. Where you're at. Where you at, B? Where you're at. Playing today. North Dakota in action.
Well, Oppo research tonight.
Little scouting report tonight. If you can't tell, it's my Friday today. I will not be in studio tomorrow. Nick Sainert will be in for me tomorrow with Josh Odson previewing some week 0. I've been talking to Nick. All of you will be in very good hands. So in saying that today, I am fired up for this edition of Middays with Matt because we are going to be doing a lot of football as always, but predictions today, baby. We are going to be a day ahead of it. I mean, today is FCS football, right? I mean, we have football. There's no Power 5 or G5 teams playing, but still football is football. It'll be great to watch a football game that counts, okay? That I don't know what's going to happen. So that will be
taste.
Just a little, an hors d'oeuvre of football, if you will.
Tonight's bouche.
Yes. Tonight's assortment of cucumber sandwiches, also known as LIU versus North Dakota, okay, is going to be great. We are going to have those little tiny grilled cheeses dipped in the tiny little cups of tomato basil bisque today in terms of football. I am incredibly excited. So we are going to make our predictions today. We're going to make Heisman predictions today. We are going to make conference champion predictions today. We are going to make Final Four predictions today. National championship prediction today. National champion prediction. We are also going to pick our sleeper of the season, and we are going to pick our bust of the season. So we will have that discussion today. We will make all of those predictions. We will also have a fancy little football segment about Husker football because there is a question that needs to stop being asked to coaches. I have a question that I don't think matters. People are very fired up to ask it. Not just media members. I'm not calling out media members. I'm saying fans as well. A lot of people want to know the answer to this certain question. I think it doesn't matter. And I think there's actually another question that matters way more that could really impact the season. So we will talk about that today around the 12 o'clock hour because we have a loaded 11 o'clock hour today. Stephen M. Sipple of Husker Online and On3, who has been boots on the ground this entire time at Nebraska Fall Camp, will join us here. We'll talk to Sip as we do every single Thursday on MWM. And then the head coach of the Iowa Western Reavers, Scott Strohmeier, will join us at 11:30 today after our interview with Sipple. Then 11:45, we will go ahead and do the odd news. At 12 o'clock, we will ask you to name that duck. We are still giving out bonus entries for our 1620 The Zone trip to Oregon. Will we be sending a fan to Eugene to see the Huskers take on the Oregon Ducks? So we will ask you to name that duck. And by the way, stay tuned at 12 o'clock because we have two questions today. So you're going to have
a double duck.
We're going to have a double duck. We're going to have a double D, if you will.
Sydney Sweeney's going to join the show?
No, Sydney Sweeney's not joining the show. All right. All right. I almost said my roommate's last name. Dan DeFranza, the head coach of Notre Dame College Prep, Double D, will not be joining us today on the show. But we will have a double duck question. So tune in at 12 o'clock, and you'll have 2 opportunities to answer that question. Get some bonus entries. We'll talk about our Husker football topic. We will make our predictions at 12:45. We are grunting the slate. It is back. We won the divorce. Connor Happer, that idiot. We fought him in court. We took him to the wire, and we got the kids, okay? We got the odd news, and we got Grunt the Slate, all right? We have full custody. We are going to be grunting today at 12:45. Around 1 o'clock, we'll have some just other, we'll do some house cleaning, training camp stuff, all that fun jazz. And then at 1:20, Lauren Michelson of KETV. She is also boots on the ground, but not in Lincoln, in Dallas, Texas, as it is the first time we will see Nebraska. I actually don't think it'll be the first. Well, I forget if those games were televised. But anyway, Nebraska volleyball is going to be on TNT tonight at 7 o'clock.
They know drama.
Not to spoil what to watch, but they will be. I hate to step on your toe.
No, please.
I hate to steal your thunder.
I'm wearing steel toes today. You can step
No,
on
you're not. You're wearing those red and white Nikes.
That's right.
Like, are you actually? I didn't look at.
I am. It's the only shoes I have.
I don't look at your feet. I don't look at other men's feet.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No, I don't want to objectify you. Not to kink shame either. If you like feet, you like feet.
Your generation does.
By the way, real quick, look at our hats today. Do you see us with our alternate bright color Major League Baseball hats on today?
Rocking the NL West today.
We got the memo. You got your neon, what is that? Light green with a neon pink San Diego Padres hat. I have my cream white Colorado Rockies hat on with a nice little light purple. I think there's a cooler name to say than light purple. But anyway, and then it's a nice little pink undertone here.
Oh, hello.
I have to be careful putting this hat around Nick Grimm.
He did comment on it.
I'm afraid he's going to steal it. I'm afraid. Hokey Skur writes in, Happy Football Thursday. Matt, any more movement on finding a girl that will tolerate your fanboy-ness of cars? No, I have not. No update there.
There's got to be girls out there that like cars.
Hey, she doesn't like my Piskin cup. Then she can get in the back of the line. Okay.
Why settle? You're young.
I want her to walk into my room and go, you have 3 Piskin cups? You had 3 Piskin cups? Are you kidding me? Oh my God. Are those Lightning McQueen Crocs? That is so cool. Marry that person on the spot.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to get that, but certainly you could.
I don't
find
know if I want
that.
If I'm being honest with you, I don't know if I need somebody. I've said this before. I actually don't want to go home to somebody and them to be like, you had a bad take today.
Yeah, I can't imagine that would be.
Yeah, that would float over well. I don't want to go home and my radio performance be graded. I would rather go home and the wife be like, hey, you want to watch The Real Housewives of Atlanta? And be like, I would love that. You want to watch Vanderpump Rules? Absolutely. Sith goes, how long is the walk to the back of the line? Really not that long.
All right, that's a great line.
It's almost like Dundee Double Shot. It's really not that far back of the coffee shop. It's a small place. A lot of people can fit in there. Anyway, we will have a very, very fun show today. The Pro Bowl no longer existing, probably best for everybody. Nebraska volleyball kicks off today. We're in works and talking to Emily Eamon next week. Should be really fun. She's one of the premier voices of volleyball. So we'll talk to her at some point next week. I think she might be on the call for the game tonight. I'm not mistaken. I'd be shocked though if they did a big event like this and they did not have her announcing it in any way, shape, or form. Actually, I'll ask her if she's on the call. But anyway, Nebraska volleyball plays tonight. I have a crazy Nebraska volleyball stat. And one thing I guess today's show theme is predictions plus telling everybody what not to talk about. But I do have one thing that I don't feel like we should talk about when it comes to the Nebraska volleyball season. Because 5 for 5 has become this hot button issue. And it's funny listening to Troy Dan and talking Husker on the Husker Radio Network a couple of days ago, him literally bringing up, like, I love the NCAA, but this has been such a mess. And he even brought up the fact that he mentioned to another athletic director, wow, I wonder if we should just go back to how it was. This has just caused such a mess that maybe it was just better, having the red shirts and having the waivers and all this stuff, and then dealing with these individual cases within court, as opposed to what you're dealing with now. Now the Big 12 has made a stance as of today on professional players and people coming back into the college football hemisphere and all that type of stuff. And so the more I think about Dan and going, wow, maybe we should have just stayed with the old rules, the more I kind of agree with it a little bit, because this has just become such a headache. And it's just at this point, more rules cause more lawsuits, which cause more appeals, which causes more time, which causes more confusion, which causes us to just be sick and tired of all of this stuff. And I'm getting, once again, I said it, I believe on Tuesday, I'll say it again. I'm tired, man. I'm tired with all this stuff. It's just exhausting. Just every single day, it just seems like a new player you thought wasn't allowed to play college football is now allowed to play college football. Then another rule comes in and another lawsuit happens. Thomas Castellanos from Florida State, supposedly. And now at this point, I don't even know because it seems like the rules the Big 12 have instituted are very much against a guy like him coming back. But Thomas Castellanos, the former quarterback for Boston College, who was a Florida State Seminole last season, apparently Texas Tech wants him to play quarterback for him, which, by the way, real quick, what does that say about the Texas Tech quarterback situation that they want Thomas Castellanos to be their starter after he threw for 2,700 yards with a 58.3% completion percentage, 15 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions last year? What does it say about their QB situation that they think of that guy who played for a bad ACC squad last year is good enough to be their starter and good enough to put them over the top in the Big 12? I don't know, man. I'll tell you this right now for predictions. I'll tell you one team who I didn't predict to win their conference championship: Texas Tech.
Same.
I do not have the Red Raiders as my Big 12 conference champion. So Husker goes, desperate times call for desperate measures in Lubbock. Literally, like, you're asking for that guy to be your starter? What does that say about your current quarterback situation? Sith goes, it says that they had no backup plan past Sorsby, which explains a lot. Man, would you have a backup plan if you paid a guy $5 million to be your quarterback and you put his billboard in Manhattan, New York? What backup plan would you have?
I understand that you need to prepare for every possible scenario, but I definitely would not have,
And I don't mean, Sith, I don't mean to be snappy with you. I couldn't agree.
I'm not talking to Sith.
Yeah. I'm talking more so about, I don't think they had one. I think Sith's totally on it. I don't think they were thinking about that when they paid all that guy all that money. It's going to be an interesting college football season, man. Going to be very, very interesting. I find myself betting on two things: coaching and experience. That's what I find in my predictions. I think unconsciously I'm writing things down and I'm like, oh, wow, I like Oregon's coaching. I like their experience. Oh, I like this team's coaching. I like their experience. I like this team's coaching. I like, you kind of find that commonality. Funny enough, Nebraska has one of those things that I trust greatly. Which one of those is that? We will talk about that throughout the show. But first, we talk to Steve Sipple of Husker Online and On3 coming up next year on Middays with Matt. Oh, we didn't get to Andrew.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Steve Sipple joins us on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Prairie Flower Casino, play longer, win more. Sip, how are you doing?
I'd say good. And you?
I'm doing great. Doing great. I got a little under the weather in the beginning of the week, but feeling a lot better now. I kind of took your advice when you said, when you get sick, you just go harder in the gym. I just kind of kept repeating that over and over in my brain, and that kind of pushed me through.
Now hold on. I think I told you that there's people who have told me that.
Frank Solich told you that.
Right. And I don't necessarily subscribe to that myself.
No, and by the way, I wasn't doing push-ups while I was, sniffling all over my carpet thinking about you. I was very much getting the rest and fluids I needed. But I'm doing much better.
And I think it's somewhat an age issue, an age conversation. Like when you're younger, I think it's easier to push through that stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I've done it where I pushed through and got really sick. I mean, debilitatingly sick. So I'm cautious about it. I don't necessarily agree with Frank on it.
I'm getting to the point where I'm now realizing I'm not invincible, and I actually have to take like magnesium, and fish oil, and drink a proper amount of fluids. Yeah,
good idea.
Up my vitamin D a little bit, So anyway, I have a quick question for you. It's the segment I'm going to do later in the show, but I want to kind of get your primer opinion on it. Do you think that the question to Barthel or Holgerson or Rule, who is going to be running back one, do you think that's a moot point because of the fact that they fully intended using 2 or 3 of these guys at the same time?
Yeah, you could, or it's just maybe, I don't know if I go as far as moot point. That's a little overblown. I can see why coaches would begin to roll their eyes as we press for that. But, somebody's got to go out there first. Now, sometimes that's just dictated by what play call it is. It's dictated by what the other team's personnel. So even that is kind of, if you don't have a defined starter, then whoever goes out there number one is somewhat inconsequential, right? I mean,
yeah.
It matters more probably who's on the field. If the game is close, it matters who's on the field at the end of the game.
Sure.
So
sure.
But we do. It's just a thing we, as fans of the sport, we get wrapped up in the starter conversation. I think in a lot of cases it makes sense, and some it doesn't make as much sense.
I feel like since I've been here in Nebraska, in this market, dating back to 2020, that there's kind of been a consistent theme of when Nebraska gets a top recruit that immediately the expectation is for them to play. Hey, they're going to play. They're going to play right away. They're going to be impactful right away because they need to be impactful right away, whether it be a quarterback, tackle. We've seen it happen at running back. We've seen it happen at tight end, right? Where these young guys come in because of the state of the current program. They need to play right away. Where you look at Matt Rule's roster right now, you don't really need a parent. It's pretty evident that you don't need Claude Mpuma, the 4-star from Chicago, to play right away. Danny Odom, challenged for that cornerback 2 job, but it seems like it's going to be Evans or Charles who ends up taking that spot. Well, how important do you think it is that Nebraska under Matt Rule has gotten to the point where they actually have kind of a pipeline throughout the entirety of the program that these top recruits don't need to make an impact right away and instead can develop for a year?
Oh, that's a great point. That really is. I mean, it does. It shows progress.
Mm-hmm.
It shows progress. Not. Here's the thing. It's just a data point. I mean, the ultimate data point is, we're about to start getting into that here pretty quick. The win-loss record. But
sure.
No, I'd say that's. I'm glad you brought it up. Actually, that's a good point. Now, some of that is. some of that is they brought in 16 transfers, and and 13 of them. I'm sorry, I'm doing what Americans do. I'm reading text while I'm talking. They brought in 16 transfers, and 13 of them are going to get heavy minutes if they don't start. You know, so it just goes through the 16, and that doesn't. When I say 13, that doesn't include Daniel Kalin, who you might even say in the conversation too. So you might say 14 of the 16 are guys that are going to play heavy minutes, starters, or key backups. So now that's filling a void right there.
For sure.
The only two that aren't are Jason Shiggs, who's a defensive back from Towson, and then that kid, that linebacker they brought in from Iowa State, who's only, I think he's a redshirt freshman. But they, so that's some of it. But back to your original point, that's a good point. The fact that they're not reliant on these guys is probably a good sign, tempered by the reliance on the portal.
Yeah. I was going through, so we're doing our predictions today for the college football season because FCS football starts up, and then obviously week 0 on Saturday in part 2 because I'm not going to be in tomorrow. And so I was going through my predictions of who I think is going to win conferences and who I think will be the Final Four and the national champion. And I realized that there was a common theme that I was betting on experience and coaching when it came to who I was predicting to go far this season in college football. If I were to give you the two options for Nebraska football, experience and coaching, what would you trust more that Nebraska has more of a potent dose of?
Experience play, talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Experience. Yeah, I'd probably go. Oh, I don't know. That's a hard question, actually. Players are. You have a. I just want to go to the key positions. You do have experience at key positions, quarterback.
Yeah.
Those linebackers are real important. The safeties, McDougal's a junior, Kahn's a senior. The reason I hesitate is because we're seeing how incredibly important coaching is, how much it matters.
Sure. Without a doubt.
I believe that it might matter more now than ever because you have to get these guys. So I'm glad we raised the point of 16 transfers, 13 guys that are going to play. They have to be assimilated quickly, taught quickly. The chemistry has to kick in quickly. That all strikes me as you better have a leader over there who's got it together and has a formula that both produces in the long term, but also the short term.
Yeah.
There has to be everything's ramped up. Not everything. I shouldn't say everything. Not everything, because there's still positions where you would say are developmental in nature.
Sure.
But I don't know though. Everything's got to happen quick when you're bringing in that amount of transfers, and they have to produce quickly.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point. I was thinking you might say that coaching is more important than ever from a different point, and the point I was thought that you might make is the fact that the tradition and history and logos of teams necessarily don't matter as much as they used to because money has cut through a lot of that, and that coaching matters because now you can acquire those players, right? Acquire a lot of the players that you weren't able to, some players that you weren't able to before, but you got to be able to evaluate them and coach them up.
That too. That too.
And I think, but that's the point I thought you'd go with. It's very interesting. I haven't really looked at it from you're right, Steve. When you bring in all these guys all at once, you have to get a lot of key pieces acclimated in a very short amount of time. And it's a profound way of putting it, but yeah, you got it. You have to be good on the sticks now more than ever, for sure.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Believe that.
Without a doubt. You go back. I mean, with Orich, like, am I going over my skis that I just love how involved he seems to be as an actual coach from a DC perspective? Am I buying too much into the fact that I love that he's just not this guy looking over a perch down on everybody and saying, "Hey, you got that he actually is getting his hands dirty"? Do you think I love it? Am I putting a little too much stock into it today?
Not necessarily. I mean, I like it. I just wouldn't. It doesn't guarantee anything, and it strikes me as sort of a personal preference type of topic.
Sure.
Like,
sure.
You can have guys, Bear Bryant coached from a tower, and now he wasn't a coordinator. So, but I've seen it done both ways, and both ways can be effective. So I don't marry myself to it necessarily, but I'm like you. My preference is that a coordinator coaches a position or is heavily involved in a position and isn't just a walk around coordinator, or just talked about this, who doesn't really have responsibility for any one position. He does. He kind of has responsibility for the backers now, and he's attached to that. His name's attached to it. So it adds a level of accountability. And I like that. I like the willingness to do that. The Orich picture to me is really good. Like I like his energy a lot. I like his communication skills. All this doesn't guarantee anything, but you just see when he's in a video, be it with Kyle Crooks or he's at a podium in front of the media, he is a good communicator. And he does seem enthused about what he's doing. And he's not always on the defense. Like, it always seems like Butler was always on the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Even when it wasn't necessary, he was on the defense.
Yeah. Yeah.
The picture's good. But again, we're at a beautiful, beautiful time because we're on the cusp of seeing what matters more than those discussions.
I was listening to Rule on the Husker Radio Network yesterday, and he said something about Gen Z athletes and how we're very disconnected. I'm part of Gen Z, right? We're a very disconnected generation because of our phones and social media and all that type of stuff, and that we don't necessarily have those interpersonal skills that previous generations before us had because we haven't been required to interact, right? The in-person interactions haven't been as frequent and as important as generations in the past. And I found it just so interesting and honestly impressive that he was able to identify that and then relay that into his coaching and relay that into how he interacts with his guys and how he has his guys interact with one another. I thought it really showed his chops as a coach who understands people and understands athletes. But I'm going to ask you a tough question, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you could trade 15% of Rule's ability to interact and to relate and to bring people together, if you could trade 15% of that ability for him to be 15% better in X's and O's and 15% of a more defensive guru and 15% more like closer to some of the coaches who are calling plays or have more of a very you know what I'm getting at. If you could trade that, would you?
No, I probably would.
I wouldn't either.
Because I say that because you can delegate. He does delegate. He has a experienced offensive coordinator, a pretty experienced defensive coordinator, not at the Power 4 level. Now he does not have an experienced special teams coordinator, which is concerning to me. But no, the answer to your question is no, because you can delegate. And I think that on a day-to-day, as he operates that organization, that what you laid out, his ability to communicate with, kind of all ages, but specifically the ages of his players and understands that age group, I think is really enormously important. So no, I wouldn't trade it. As long as you can sell me that he has effective people below him, and I think in a lot of cases he does. Now it's been a struggle in that way, so it's a conversation. But as I stand here right now, mainly because of Fulgerson and Orridge, and then some of the assistants, I'd say no, I wouldn't trade. I think that's an important part of that rule.
So let me ask you this then, and I will definitely not put words in your mouth, but I don't want to put you in a corner either. But would you say that because you can delegate those things and you can delegate the guys who are the mad scientists and the scheme gurus and all that stuff, do you think the key to Matt Rule's success then is making effective hires on both sides of the ball?
Well, I mean, yeah, and that's true to a large extent with any head coach, right?
Well, maybe go as far as to say the number one key, the top thing he has to do is make hires, or do you think there'd be something more important than that?
Depends how you. I know I always overthink stuff, but it kind of depends how you define it. I mean, the thing that would come to mind is number one is the acquisition of talent component. How's that? But it's tough. I don't know how to answer it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it's interesting to look at his first batch of hires, because from a pure X's and O's standpoint, it didn't, and the guy in retention, right, and guys who ended up being there for a long time and continuity, it obviously, none of that happened, right? But I do think, though, from a culture building standpoint, even though a lot of those guys weren't here for very long and they weren't, very effective at, some of them weren't effective at what they did, they were needed in order to build the culture. And I feel like,
you give a lot of grace there. I mean, but you're right. You give a little more grace to his initial wave of hires than I do. I'm going to go back to your question. Yeah, I mean, it's really a coach like Rule. He doesn't specialize in he's not a coordinator. He couldn't coordinate offense. I don't think he could coordinate defense. I know he couldn't coordinate special teams. You better be really good. Make really good hires and delegate well, which I believe I think he's pretty good in that way.
I think this year will determine that. I think this year will determine that. I don't think that you can say right now until this season begins that he is a high acumen, hiring of coaches until you see how. Now, I'm not saying he's bad at it either. I'm not saying he's bad, but I wouldn't go as far as to say high acumen until this season plays out.
Yeah, I mean, there's reason to question Rule. We don't give this voice, and I'm not going to go on a long spiel here. We got to cut it off. But the thing I always think about with Rule right now is he's 51. Okay, he's only 51. He's young, and he just came off of a horrible run at Carolina, where he was booed out of the stadium. It was a rough time. Now he's 51. He's kind of facing this very critical part of his career, because if it doesn't go well this year at Nebraska or next year, if this is a failure, he's not coming back from it as a head coach, not at a high level. It'll be really difficult. So he's 51, 52, and then what? He's not going to go coordinate a defense anywhere. He's not going to go coordinate an offense anywhere. He's not going to be a special teams coordinator. He's going to go coach a D-line or something. That doesn't seem like something he would do. So you just drop into the analyst world at that point. What I'm suggesting is this is a really critical stage of his personal career.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh my God. I mean, if it doesn't work at Nebraska, what do you have to fall back on in coaching?
Maybe a MAC job or something. But God, is he going to take a MAC job for $800,000?
Absolutely not. No.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so.
No.
So, it's really, there's a lot of things that make this, there's a lot of critical main story type topics that make this season interesting, but there's also a lot of sort of sidebar ancillary topics, and that's one of them that make it really interesting.
All right, Sip, we'll let you go. Really appreciate your time, my friend.
All right, my friend. Take care.
You as well. High acumen of hiring, no. He's made some good hires. Tony White was a good hire. He ended up leaving. That was Tony left.
That's what happens when you're good at hiring in a lot of places.
Terrence Dyden was a good hire. He left. I think that you can say what you want about Gary McGuire not being able, like as a game day coach or a developmental coach. He recruited really well. Brought in Cortez Mills, right? Brought in Ja'Cory Barty. I don't think I'm going to get anybody to agree that was a good hire, and it probably is way more down the middle than anything. Definitely more so leaning left toward bad than good. But if this year of hiring works out, then I'll say that, okay, yeah, he's done a good job of bringing in a staff and a good job of evaluating the type of coaches he needs and good job of all that type of stuff. If it works out this year. If it doesn't work out this year, then no, absolutely not. He doesn't have a high acumen of hiring because you're going to have way more misses than hits. Satterfield was a miss as offensive coordinator. Dana, TBD, probably leaning. We'll see what happens. This is a big year for Dana, right? Second and a half a year. Terry Braden, terrible hire. John Butler, tough spot, right? After your DB's coach leaves very late into the, off season. Then you got to bring in a guy like John Butler. That was a tough spot. But Addison Williams was one hell of a hire. Great hire to get Addison Williams. Donovan Raiola, I want to go as far as I wouldn't say bad, but it wasn't good. Definitely wasn't good. Definitely more so leaning toward bad. I think Jeep Wade, though, was one hell of a hire. Right? I think Eckler was a really good hire. I think Foley was a bad one. Right? You could kind of go down the line and go a little tit for tat here in terms of guys that miss, guys that hit. Now, I would make the argument that first batch of guys he hired wasn't necessarily about, hey, I got to get the best X's and O's and development guys, in. It was more so, I need guys to build this culture. I need guys who understand my day-to-day. I need guys who, as a trickle-down effect, can get this thing rolling the way that we need it to. This batch of hiring has definitely been about, no, we need to bring in the coaches that are going to schematically and on the field perspective turn these things around. My question to Sip about would I trade 15% of rules recruiting / culture building / personal skills, interpersonal skills for 15% of more of him being an X's and O's scheme guru coach. Sip said no, he wouldn't do the trade because you can delegate the X's and O's and the schematic stuff. I agree with Sip that you can delegate that stuff. Is 15% more going to make Matt Rule start calling the defense? I wonder what 15% more would do right now. If it was like 40% more, then you're just completely changing, right? The mold of the type of coach that you hired. I think that if this year, that if these hires end up being the way that they want it to be, then yeah, you're going to evaluate and say, all right, Matt Rule is good enough to evaluate, hire, delegate these things. And so having these coaches do a lot of the brunt work when it comes to the scheme, and then having him being the front-facing figure of the program, promoting the program, recruiting the program, and bringing these people together, that could be, that could be the core that you bring together. Now, if that ends up not working out, right, and these hires don't end up working out, and Orich isn't what you thought it would be, and Corey Brown isn't what you thought it would be, and Roy Manning and so on and so forth, all these things don't really pan out, then yeah, maybe in order for Nebraska to be more successful, they needed a coach that was more in tune to coaching in on game day and more in tune to the schematic part of the game. We'll see. We'll see. I would not trade 15% of Matt Rule as what he is as a culture builder and recruiter for him to be more schematic right now. I wouldn't. I'd think about it. I'd think about it, but I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Because you can't hire well. You can't just hire well and have people deal with that for you. John in the chat vehemently disagrees. I think it's an interesting question to have. But
well, anytime we talk about Matt Rule, John's there with 6 texts to tell you that Rule's terrible. Like we don't have a guess on which way that's going right now.
Yeah. But I was very impressed with how he described how young athletes in the generation, like how they react now versus how they reacted then, and different things that he has to do to adjust to the type of athletes that he's coaching. I think he really showed his acumen in terms of someone who understands the young individuals within his building, which is, what he kind of is known for, right? Like he's known for being that player developer, player connector, recruiter, and not necessarily being a Mike McDonald super scheme guru. Kenneth goes, if he was heavily involved in play calling, everyone would be pissed and want him removed, and for him to focus on being a CEO instead. That's how this fan base works. I mean, that was the thing that everybody was raving over when he first got hired here was CEO, head coach, CEO, head coach, CEO, head coach. I feel like we haven't said that a lot recently. We used to say that a ton.
Yeah.
Now we don't say that at all. So I wouldn't trade it. And I honestly think I don't know how much of a difference 15% would make. And if you're trading more than 15%, then you're just asking for a different type of coach at that point. It's a fun question to have. We'll have some more fun topics later, but we're going to have a great interview coming up next. Scott Strohmeier of the Iowa Western Reavers joins us next here on Middays with Matt.
1620 The Zone's Red Out Week, presented by Union Bank and Trust. At UBT, people don't have your money has people. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Our next guest is not from La Vista, but he's his call is heralding from Council Bluffs, Iowa. It's the head coach of the national champion Iowa Western Reavers. Head coach Scott Strohmeier joins Middays with Matt. Coach Stro, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm fired up, Coach. You guys are about to play your first game of the season, Highland Community College at Titan Stadium in the Bluffs. How are you feeling? How fired up are you to get this season rolling?
Well, I think we need to play a game. I mean, we've been practicing since August 1st and ready. I think the guys are ready to go against a different team. I'm pretty confident they are, and it's always exciting. There's lots of new faces, and we're going to find out a lot about our team at 1:00 on Saturday.
Let me turn my mic on. There we go. Good producing by me. Coach, some of those new faces come from different places. One of them being the University of North Carolina. You're the active wins leader in all of junior college football. Any professional desire to ask them, hey, which coach is better, me or Belichick?
Well, I haven't asked that question, but I don't know what their response would be, but I'm guessing they might say the guy named Bill Belichick, just with the amount of Super Bowl rings.
But you have just as many JUCO national championship
I was about to say.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's a question I got to ask him, I guess.
Maybe you should, Coach. Hey, we had head coach of University of Nebraska Kearney, Ryan Held, on the show yesterday, and we were talking to him about him in the D2 ranks, how he's seen an influx of high school talent that he's acquiring that previously that they would have never really had a shot at acquiring before, but because everything that's happening at the D1 level with everyone bouncing around in the transfer portal and all that type of stuff, and high school athletes getting less and less love, that there's more talent for him to go after. And so I've already talked to you about high school guys, and you've said this on the show before that it already is, you're already getting guys that a couple years ago you never thought that you would get. But do you find yourself also going to the D2 ranks now and seeing kind of that trickle down effect and looking at D2 teams and saying, wow, there's some D2 talent that's way above the pay grade that it used to be in the past that maybe you can dip in and go get for JUCO?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it always goes that way, right? It just kind of trickles down, and we get some D2 guys that transfer down to us. We're going to continue to see it more, and especially now. I think next year, I think we're kind of when we had to navigate the COVID time where everybody got an extra year of eligibility.
Yeah.
We're kind of in that same time now with the 5 for 5s. And so like I said, we got to kind of navigate it through, but you're going to see continually, like I think the FCS teams are getting a player that they maybe wouldn't have gotten a few years ago. The D2s are getting guys. NAI schools, and we scrimmage Dort, and they have some players on their team. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I would take a couple of you right now, but I didn't want to do it while we were scrimmaging them.
Fair enough. We appreciate the honesty, Coach.
Yeah. But you're going to see the trickle down. It's going to continue. And like I said, this next year, it's going to be, I talked to our guys. I'm like, we got to go back to, that COVID time when we had all our guys that wanted to come back because they got the extra year, but then we also had a really good class coming in, and all of a sudden I sat there and I'm like, how are we at the numbers we're at right now?
Yeah.
There's just not as many spots for our guys to go to, and not enough spots for the high school kids to go to as well. So it just gives you a bigger pool.
Coach, I'm always curious how you keep the guys sharp. You keep them hungry. I marvel at your consistency as a program. You just don't ever have the stinker that a lot of teams, just didn't have it today. You don't lose games you're supposed to lose, quote unquote. But you also, there's a flip side to that where your guys know, hey, it's not just a 1-game season against Hutchinson. We got to go out each and every week. I'm curious. I'm always curious about what you say to the guys to make sure they're ready each and every week and not just for the big games.
Well, hopefully we don't have a hookup on Saturday, right?
Right.
But I mean, each year's so different, and I think the big thing is the expectations stay the same. The team changes, right? All our players and they come here, they're recruited here because of the success and the expectations that we have for the program, and we have some battles going on, and I think if you can't buy into it's not just about myself and the statistics that I want or the jersey number that I want, that you get to put on an Iowa Western uniform and we expect to compete at a high level. And the biggest thing for these kids now is we only get, I mean, we're guaranteed 10 games this year, right? So you got 10 Saturdays to prove that you're a Division I player or whatever, and you can't take 2 or 3 of those weekends off. And so I think part of it's when you have some returning guys, not necessarily starters, but guys in the program that went through it last year. Like they're kind of the leaders of the expectations of how we practice, how we prepare, and I don't care the record of whoever we're playing. We have to go out there and perform. And sometimes these kids, in some of the games, you're like, this is an opportunity for you to get some really good highlights too. So you better be ready to go, right? So I don't know. Every year is a little bit different. This year, like I said, we have a lot of guys who are in the program. Last year, maybe not a lot of guys that, there's probably 6 guys that stepped foot on the national championship game last year. And I need them to kind of hold the expectation. Coaches can say that. We can preach it till we're blue in the face, right? But sometimes when they have that ownership, it I don't know, it hits a little bit different, it's just the expectation.
Coach, I do want to ask, obviously earlier in the year, a couple months ago, Nebraska went ahead. They called you. Tyke Hayes was on your roster. Then he transfers to Nebraska. And then obviously, he's dismissed from the team. Do you find yourself in terms of that specific situation and in regards to being contacted very late in the cycle and then, somebody transferring out of your team to a D1 program? Do you anticipate maybe that being something that happens more often, or is that something that already kind of happened a lot in your career? I'm curious because not necessarily about Tyke specifically, but about that situation of a late process transfer. Do you expect more of that to happen in the future?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to continue to happen. I mean, we've the last 2 years, we've lost guys that we were expecting. They went through spring ball. We're expecting them to be starters. And I mean, this year, I'm back on vacation on July 3rd, and I get a call, and my starting center's leaving.
Yeah.
July, I don't even know what day it was. July, we were just getting ready to start camp, and my starting left tackle's leaving, and it was Tyke right before that. So, I think yes, it's going to become more common. I think the biggest thing that we try to educate, I'm never going to tell them, Mulante Maxwell, our tackle, went to Baylor. I mean, I understand financially where it comes into play. I think what we tried to do is tell them what's their situation. Like, is it you want to go there and have a chance to start? Realistically, you're not going to go there and start July 15th, right? All those kids have been there for the summer. But if it's a life-changing, financial deal, I get it 100%. But we're going to continue to get it. And now that they kind of changed some of the rules from a junior college kid transferring, where we follow the same rules as the NCAA did for transfer portal kids, where in the past we had higher standards. Like they had to have a higher GPA. They had to graduate. A kid who transfers from a Division I school to us in the spring, doesn't have to graduate from Iowa Western now. Where in the past, as a 4.24 transfer, you had to graduate.
Yeah.
So, those are going to continue to happen, and it's going to happen more. I mean, I think, we've always been open to coaches coming in and letting them know, like, this guy's able to go right now.
Yeah.
When it happens in April, we still got time. When it happens in July and
sure.
Last year we lost one to Ole Miss in August. We can't replace those kids. So what I try to explain to the four-year schools, like, is he a number guy, a depth guy, or do you really think he'd come in and play? Because if he's just a numbers guy, like, I need the guy too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. 1,000,000%, coach.
So
1,000,000%.
I don't know. It's challenging. It's like I said, we're navigating through it, and it's going to continue to happen. And the way we recruit right now, and like sometimes your players get a little bit upset of, why are you bringing this guy in? I'm at the position. I'm the starter in spring. Well, I tell my players right now, I got anyone on my starting team, if they got a call from an FBS school today and said, could you be here tomorrow? Where do you think you're going to go?
Yeah.
They're going to go, right? So you got to protect yourself as a coach, and that's why we have depth, and we brought in, an extra quarterback on August 1st and things like that, just to kind of protect ourselves in case something like that happens.
Coach, I do wonder, like, just in terms of if a player were to leave you like late in the process, and then maybe they go and they find out that, to your point, they're a numbers piece and not a starting piece, and they realize they made a mistake and they want to come back, because they want to play ball. Is that a person by person decision do you make for you, or is there a blanketed rule? Hey, once you leave, go ahead.
It's like for me, it's probably more a person by person, to be honest with you. I think because, like I said, I mean, I spent, in Wante Maxwell's situation, I mean, between myself and my offense coordinator, and we had long talks with him, and never would we tell him, no, you can't go. And never would we say, you need to take that thing. Like, you got to make that decision. But we try to point things out. And if a situation happens to that, I think it's case by case. And, there's some that, maybe we disagreed with and they were misled, and we're dealing with agents now too. I mean, it's a whole different deal, but yeah, I think it's more of a case by case of saying, okay, maybe it didn't work out, but you did everything we needed you to do here. Let's bring you back.
We're talking with Scott Strohmeier, head coach of the Iowa Western Reavers. They kick off their season this weekend in Council Bluffs. Free tailgate before the game. Come on out. It's a lot of fun. Coach, are you prepared to tell the populace that's listening to the show right now who will be behind center for you?
Yeah, and we had an unbelievable competition through the summer and then early fall camp, and really I felt there's 4 guys. We kind of narrowed it down to 3. Mailuwaki Smith, he started 4 games at Oklahoma State. Then he went to Ole Miss, and he transferred in. Is going to get the start. Garrett Ames is a Division II transfer from Delta State that played in games when he was down there, and Dylan Van Dyke from Omaha Scott. I mean, those are the top 3. But I think, like I said, when I told all those guys, I feel confident in the quarterback room, where a lot of coaches there's been years in the past where I'm like, after number 1, we're really different at number 2, and I feel if I had to play any one of those 3, I would feel okay. I think the biggest thing though is they're all different, and in making that decision, I tried to say, okay, what's going to be our offensive identity this year? And then who fits that strength the most? And you know what? Our offensive identity could change next, after Saturday, and we may have to go in a different direction, right? But a couple of them, they're going to play. I don't know if all 3 are good. It's hard to say, when you got, the old saying, you got 2, you got none. But I feel confident that I've played multiple quarterbacks before, but your offense is going to change a little bit, right? So it's, we're going to go into this thing how we feel, and then we're going to have to make some adjustments if things don't go our way and we have to make a change.
Little birdie told me you want to play faster this year. Is that true?
As an offensive guy, you always want to. You want to go, play a little bit faster, like we've done before. But again, part of that's you got to look at your team too, and you can put your defense in some bad situations if you do that. And but if we're play defense like we've done in the past, we can play as fast as we want because not too many people scored. But I think the big thing, we're dealing with some injuries defensively, some depth issues that we have to be really careful. Now, if you're having success moving it fast, then we're going to continue to do that. But we got to be careful.
Head coach of the Iowa Western Reavers, Scott Strohmeier, the defending national champion, Iowa Western Reavers. I have to be specific when I say that. Coach Stroh, first game, August 29th, this Saturday against Highland at 1 o'clock at Titan Stadium. Good luck. Thank you so much for coming on the show today, and we look forward to having you on throughout the season, my friend.
I appreciate you guys having me again. There's not many football games going on Saturday, so hopefully we can get a bunch of people out to check them out.
Absolutely. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach Scott Strohmeier. I don't think I'm doing anything Saturday.
Come on out. Free tailgate before the game.
Free beer?
I'm nodding because I don't know if I can say yes.
Middays with Matt here on the 1620 Zone Radio Network. Odd News coming up next. Hey, make it a quickie.
Okay, you know this Bud Crawford guy? You ever
I've heard about him. Yeah, Terrence.
He's in this hype video for Nebraska volleyball.
Yes,
it's really cool.
Is. I love that. He is like the guy for Nebraska athletics in terms of we need anything hype, give it to Bud.
Well,
he's awesome.
And I don't want to get into the politics of this. I just think it's odd.
Stick.
Yes. President Zelensky in the Ukraine, you know him, right?
You could have given me 1,000 guesses to say what name was going to come out of your mouth. And President Zelensky was not the guy. I would never have gotten there. Okay. What about Bud and Zelensky?
Second time the nation of Ukraine has came up on the show this week.
Yeah, they're having a moment on Middays with Matt.
He received a 3-month-old American Pit Bull Terrier. The man that handed him that 3-month-old Pit Bull Terrier, American boxer Terrence Bud Crawford. The cute and fluffy scene took place in Zelensky's office in Kiev. It was the latest volley in a deadly serious battle of visuals that runs. I'm just reading the article from the Associated Press. I don't know if what I'm saying is accurate, right?
Why was Bud in Kiev? Why was Bud there?
Crawford,
they flew him out?
Crawford, a longtime supporter of Ukraine and devotee of the American Pit Bull Terrier, came forward and handed a reddish-yellow puppy to Zelensky. Again, not political. It's just odd. It's the very essence of an Omaha sports radio show doing odd news stories.
We're not going to another odd news story. I need to find out why the Pit Bull Terrier community said, we need to fly to Kyiv. We need to give Mr. Zelensky a pit bull, and we're going to have Bud Crawford do it. Why? It sounds like a Mad Lib, by the way. It sounds like a Mad Lib. What was that flight like? Was it on like a was it like a United Emirates? Oh my God, it's a cute dog, by the way.
It is, absolutely.
Is there a video of Bud? By the way, he's got to name the dog KO, right? You got to name him Knockout.
Oh, okay.
What do you name that dog? Probably you name the dog Bud, no?
Oh, okay.
Can you imagine?
Uh-huh. Here, Bud. Here, Bud.
Yeah, that probably, practically.
Kenneth says this is the oddest odd news story of all time.
So
I'm trying to weed through it's a very long article actually from the Associated Press.
Well, there's an actual video of, oh my God, do you see this video of Bud handing?
I have not seen the actual video.
This is the video. Look at him. He is, and they frame him up and everything. And Zelensky shaking his head like this is crazy.
I know this might get me in trouble, but Bud is often not the tallest person in a group of
Look at that dog. Look at that
people.
face. Oh my God, that's such a cute puppy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's saying he's so cute. Bud's saying he's so cute. Okay.
This is fascinating video.
Can you imagine?
A better producer would have put it in the YouTube stream.
And they gave him a WBC belt, by the way.
The dog or
no, they gave Zelensky.
Okay.
By the way, can you imagine if President Zelensky had a dog named after Bud Crawford?
Again, just an absolute Mad Lib of sentence.
Come here, Terrence. That'd be rude to name the dog the first name after the person who gave it to you. Okay. That's something.
Amazing Daniel says these are terrible dog names.
Juan Claude Van Layden goes, you have to take a 9-hour train from Warsaw to Kyiv. No direct flight.
Wow. That's commitment.
Can we get Bud on the air to explain how and why he was given the opportunity to gift the dog to a president currently in one of the biggest foreign conflicts in our world right now?
If you've got the stones to ask him, go right ahead. I'm terrified of the man.
Kenneth goes, name the dog Roy Drones Jr.
Freya is the dog's name.
Okay, thanks, the amazing.
Thank you. A smarter, more mature man than us.
I'm glad the cooler heads prevailed there.
I was just reading the article, and there are just so many landmines.
Do you think Drago now is going to give a dog to Putin?
Yes. They could have
gives him like
cute
a
dog contest.
Gives him a Siberian Husky.
Yeah.
Names him Ivar. All right, we got to take a break here. Name That Duck. Coming up next, a double duck edition of Name That Duck. Coming up next here on Middays with Matt.
Welcome to 1620 The Zone's Red Out Week, presented by Union Bank and Trust. At UBT, people don't have your money has people. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
It's time for the game that is sweeping the state of Nebraska 1620 The Zone and our fine friends at Woodhouse Auto Family want to send you, that's right, you, to Oregon for the Nebraska game this October. Your chance to get registered comes if you can name that duck.
Name that duck here on the 1620 Zone Radio Network. Middays with Matt McMaster is always joined by Josh Otton. We are double ducking today. We are a day behind, so we are going to ask you 2 duck-based questions. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to ask the first one, okay? We're going to bring in the first caller. First caller, go ahead. You get a shot at answering this question. You answer the question correctly, you get bonus entries to win our Oregon trip at 1620zone.com. So don't forget to go to 1620zone.com. Sign up for the Oregon trip contest. If you win, we're going to give you 2 airfare tickets to Omaha, to Eugene, Oregon. Give you 2 tickets to the Nebraska-Oregon football game, along with a $150 gift card for merchandise, Ubers, whatever you want, and a 2-night hotel stay for Nebraska's game versus Oregon. So sign up at 1620zone.com to enter now. It's brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Group. But right now, we're going to ask a duck question. You answer it correctly. If you're that caller, you're going to get bonus entry. So here we go. Do not call in until I finish reading the question. We already have people calling in. You do not count. If you're calling in right now, you're out. Get out of here. When I finish reading the question, then Josh Otton will pick up a phone. Here's the question. This duck is one of the most famous insurance pitchmen of all time. This duck is one of the most famous insurance pitchmen of all time. We have a caller. We have somebody on the line. Somebody was quick with it. All right, who do we got? We got Brian called in. Brian, this duck is one of the most famous insurance pitchmen of all time.
The Geico duck.
Brian, you were right there, but that is incorrect. Not the Geico duck. Geico has a gecko, not a duck. We got to work on our insurance animal multi-cinematic universe. All right, we have another caller in. Colin, this duck is one of the most famous insurance pitchmen of all time. Colin.
Oh, there you are. Sorry. Aflac.
It's the Aflac duck. You got it, Colin. Very good job. You get a bonus entry into our Oregon trip contest. We're going to hang on the line, Colin. We're going to get your info, okay?
Sounds good.
All right. There we go. The Geico duck. Geico doesn't have a duck.
He's going to kick himself for that one later.
What are we doing here? That is one of the biggest flubs.
You know, sometimes the lights are too bright and the game's too big.
That was even worse than Leon Lott. I mean, what are we doing here? The Geico duck? Brian. It's Aflac. All right? That's what it is. With Dion and Nick Saban. It's a Geico gecko.
Now, I will say our next question, probably the hardest of the 5 that we have prepared.
Can I be real with you?
Uh-huh.
I love it. I love it. Now, there are a couple other brothers I would have, we'll just say it. It's a human, okay?
It's a human.
It's a human.
Yes, it's a hockey question.
Couple other humans I would have put on here. This is awesome, though. I would have gotten this answer correct. Here's our...
I would not.
Double ducking. We are double ducking. So, Aflac duck. Colin, don't go anywhere. Do not go anywhere.
We're coming, Colin. We are coming.
Colin, we are coming. That's the best thing we do. We're going to ask a second duck question. Same rules. When I finish, there were some people who were jumping the gun. When I finish asking the question, that's when you call in. We're a strict rules radio station here. All right, here we go. Name that duck. He was the captain of the Anaheim Ducks lone Stanley Cup championship team and MVP, also known as the Conn Smythe Trophy winner, of the 2007 Stanley Cup Finals. He was the captain of the Anaheim Ducks lone Stanley Cup championship team and the MVP of the 2007 Stanley Cup Finals. Name that Duck. We have a caller. We have a caller. The calls are coming in a little bit less frequent than the Aflac Duck. I think people might be Googling right now very quickly to get bonus entries. Quinn has called in. Quinn, my friend, name that Duck, the MVP of the 2007 Stanley Cup Finals and the captain of the Anaheim Ducks. Name that Duck, Quinn.
I do not know the name of the Anaheim Duck.
Sorry, Quinn. Pick up another line, Josh. We might be here for a minute. I'll tell you who it's not. It's not Chris Pronger. Not the captain of the Ducks. On that Duck team, though. Philly later lost in 2010 as a member of the Philadelphia Flyers. Great defenseman, though. Also honoree in the St. Louis Blues Hall of Fame. All right, Jody. 2007 Stanley Cup MVP, the captain of the Ducks' lone Stanley Cup final victory. Jody, name that Duck.
Is it Scott Niedermayer?
Yes, it is Scott Niedermayer. Very good, Jody. Very good. You get bonus entries into our Oregon trip contest. Great stuff. Jody, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Congratulations. Okay, great hearing.
All right, Matt, talk to yourself while I get these fine listeners' information.
I'm sweating. That was stressful.
I was really worried that nobody was going to get Scott Niedermayer when I prepared these questions.
I can't believe you got Scott Niedermayer as an answer.
Well, I really wanted to do Paul Correa because he's like the Duck I know the most.
Sure.
But he didn't play there the longest. He wasn't the captain
I wanted you to go Pronger.
Yeah.
You know, I used to have a Puck Pronger little thing, a Puck Pronger poster that hung outside of my window when the Blackhawks were playing the Philadelphia Flyers in 2010. So congratulations to our winners, Jody and Colin of our 3rd and 4th edition of Name That Duck. They get bonus entries into our contest for the Oregon trip. So let's go ahead real quick. So Josh is getting their information. When he's done with that, we're going to hit a break very quickly. I do, though, not talking about Ducks, want to read this stat that I found. Not really a stat, but a fact. It was from Lauren Michelson on Twitter, whom we will be talking to her later in the show at 1:20. So Husker Volleyball begins their season today. They're going to be playing in the exhibition against Florida, Spikes Under the Lights at the AT&T Stadium. Nebraska's senior class, Lainey Choboy, Harper Murray, Andy Jackson, Bergen Riley. By the time they are done playing volleyball at Nebraska, they are to have played at a college football stadium, Memorial Stadium, a NHL/UFC arena, T-Mobile Arena, a football stadium, AT&T in Arlington, Texas, and in a Major League Baseball stadium, Wrigley Field. Absolutely incredible. It's crazy. I think we all knew that already. But when you put it into words like that and you actually hear yourself say, wow, by the time that Nebraska volleyball everything is set and done, that they're going to play in 3 different major league stadiums, additionally with a college football stadium, it's crazy to think about the impact that those players have had on this program and the impact that Nebraska volleyball has had on the sport. I do have one rule, though. This season for Nebraska volleyball is set to be a memorable one. Okay, not only just for, the team where they're playing, right? I mean, they're playing in all these different crazy venues, but it's set to be a memorable one because of the stakes and legacy that are at hand for this senior class and all of the incredibly talented players that are juniors and sophomores and freshmen alike. But I have one rule. One thing I don't want to talk about during this Nebraska volleyball season.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold us all to it. During this Nebraska volleyball season, we are not allowed to talk about what seniors are coming back until the end of the year. I feel like that's just a drama-filled headline that is only existent. It only exists to distract from the actual enjoyment. Don't like there's a mixture of don't take for granted what you're watching, but also don't doom yourself by every time you watch a volleyball match, you go, oh my God, we only have 27 more times to see these seniors play together, right? Like, enjoy what you're going to see and really soak in the moment, but also don't freak out that, oh my God, they may not be together next year. Don't worry about it. I think this is a topic during the year. Laissez-faire, baby. Hands off. Okay?
Let's go.
I already know that Lainey already kind of had an interview where she was talking about it, and she said, people think it's a group decision. It's really going to be an individual decision. Lainey, I don't even want you thinking about it. I don't even want you talking about it. Same thing with Harper and Andy and Bergen.
Just let it rip.
Go and play. Go and play. Be great. And I don't want even the fans to discuss it. Understand that, hey, like you already thought it was going to be before 5-for-5 eligibility existed, this is probably going to be it. Soak it in. But also don't go, oh my God, I wonder if they're going to. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's going to be a fun year. It begins tonight, AT&T Stadium, 7 o'clock on TNT. It should be absolutely incredible, especially to see. I wonder, I have no pulse. I have zero pulse on how many people are going to be at Jera's World.
All of them.
Today. I have no idea. But it should be very interesting. Should be a ton of fun. I'm way more fired up, weather impending, when they play at Wrigley Field. Weather impending.
People forget.
People don't forget. Me and John Bishop's goal has been to make you not forget. Okay. But coming up next, we talk about the Nebraska Cornhuskers. I told you that we can't ask about Nebraska volleyball this being their last year anymore. I'm also going to tell you a question for Nebraska football that I don't care about anymore. Coming up here on Middays with Matt.
I don't care.
1620 The Zone's Red Out Week. Presented by Union Bank and Trust. At UBT, people don't have your money has people. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC. Welcome to 1620 The Zone's Readout Week, presented by Union Bank and Trust. At UBT, people don't have your money has people. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Well, it is a football Thursday, which means we had to check yellow Tuesday. We had to call an audible at the line. Omaha set. We bring in Lauren Michelson, who's in Dallas, Texas right now. Lauren, how are you?
I am doing great, Matt. How are you?
We're phenomenal. Football's on today. What FCS football game will you be watching tonight, Lauren Michelson?
You know what? I will be at AT&T Stadium, home of the Dallas Cowboys, watching Nebraska volleyball play Florida, and then hopefully playing the winner of Penn State and SMU. And we'll be here until midnight. So no football for me today, but I am in a football stadium, so it still counts.
No, yes, it does count. It does count. You are celebrating football by being inside of Jerry's world right now. You will be. So when are you live? Are you just live shots all day, 5, 6, 10?
We are live. Yep. 4, 5, 6A, 6, 4, 9, 10 morning show. So we're filling it up, filling the shows up today. But as I am on the call with you right now, I am sitting in the club level here watching Nebraska practice on a court in the middle of the field. It's a pretty surreal view I am looking at right now.
So I'm also looking on boots on the ground videos right now that are being posted from our friends all over across the Nebraska media corps. Cool looking court. It's not a brown and tan court. It is what would you call that? It looks like gray and black.
Yeah,
is it kind of blue?
Yeah. It's a black. I think it's just a black court.
Okay.
We watched them install it. It took them like all day yesterday to do it, and it took a lot of people working really hard. I don't know much else about what went into putting it in, but it took some labor, and they look great. I mean, the team, they were so excited. The first thing, they walked out of the tunnel, and the first thing head coach Danny Busman Kelly said was, "This is the start of an awesome journey." And they started practicing. And I mean, it's quite the journey. They're finishing their preseason with these exhibition matches in an iconic venue. Then they head to another iconic venue, T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, with a much bigger match against Texas, and then Wrigley Field in a week to play Mizzou. So it's almost like we're kind of forgetting it's almost like we're used to this, covering Nebraska, being fans around this program, because they're so good and they've built the sport up so much. But you kind of have to sit back for a second and think, oh my God, they are playing in insane venues. And these 4 seniors, really, Harper, Andy, Bergen, and Laney, have done so much to grow the sport in their 3 years here already, with one more season, maybe 2. It's pretty remarkable.
You had a great tweet yesterday. I'll just read it. By next week, Nebraska volleyball's 4 seniors will have played a match in a college football stadium, an NFL stadium, an NHL arena, and an MLB ballpark. I mean, when they came here to Nebraska, it was a big deal, especially Laney flipping from Minnesota to Nebraska. I mean, people knew that special things were ahead of that group of now seniors, but at the time they were freshmen. Do you think anybody foresaw not only just like obviously all the wins that they would have, but do you think anybody foresaw that something like that would occur, something like this would occur, that they would be on all of these different venues growing the sport the way that they have?
No, I mean, you knew this, that their class of 4 was special, but you couldn't have painted a bigger picture of what they've done to grow college volleyball, but really just the sport in general, selling out everywhere they play, playing in iconic venues. People are paying more attention to the sport than ever before. They're breaking viewership numbers on national TV. National TV networks want you see Nebraska volleyball. It's a hot ticket. I mean, for this event here, they knew Nebraska was the first team they wanted to play in this event. It's literally the hottest ticket in town. It is must-see TV, and I think those 4 seniors are really spearheading most of what we are seeing happen. So, they're focused on one thing, though. They want that national championship. I think if they would give away all the glitz and all the bright lights of all these venues if they could get those rings, that's for sure.
I was going to ask you, because, we're obviously here in Omaha, but and it kind of is tough to tell a little bit just from like a social media perspective, but what's the expectation for the crowd tonight? Like, I mean, I think that saying it's going to be a sellout, from my perspective, would be a little bit overzealous. But like, do you kind of have a temperature of how many people are going to be inside of AT&T Stadium tonight?
Yeah, I was just having that conversation with a couple people. We have been told not much by a lot of the folks running this event, which is okay. It's the first of its kind.
Sure.
So I have heard 30 to 40 to 50,000. I've also heard it's closer to 80,000. I have no idea. That's a big range,
Lauren.
I have been told. I swear to God, I've been told both those numbers today. So that's why I'm telling you I don't know is my answer. But what I will say is, as of course, there are so many Nebraska fans here. There were a ton on my flight here. There's a ton in our hotel. We were at dinner last night, and they're all over the place. So of course, Nebraska fans came. They're ready to pack it as much as they can. The exact number, I have no idea. We're all kind of learning as we go, but it's a pretty sweet deal. And a lot of people are flying from here to Las Vegas too. So committing to the whole weekend of volleyball also.
So get-in price right now is about $15. But if you want to get very close, you do have to cough up a little bit. It does seem like there are plenty of available seats, but there are also a lot of, like, you got to pay to go in, it's a good sign. At least I'm looking at a secondary market. Are you going to Vegas? Are you going to be there in Vegas too? And then are you making the trip to Chicago?
I will be in Chicago. We made the call not to go to Vegas.
Yeah.
Which was tough, but mostly because it's the first week of high school football, and I'm going to be at that Miller South, Miller North game on Friday.
How excited are for you? Are you for that tomorrow?
I'm really excited. I mean, I was saying to someone else, like, when was the last time you had 4 future Huskers playing one another on a Friday night like this? Like, I know there's been 3 at a Lincoln before, but the fact that you have like Trey Taylor and TLS on Miller South, and then Matt Erickson and Tori Pittman for Miller North, like, it is going to be an unforgettable night. Both teams really want to win. I talked to Trey Taylor recently to preview this game for my live shots on Friday, and he said, I think 5 times in like a 6-minute interview, all I care about is winning, and it starts here for my senior year. That is all I care about. So he's locked in. I'm excited to watch him play in person. I have not had the opportunity yet. So yeah, I'm really excited for what Friday night will look like. I heard they're preparing for thousands and thousands of fans, so that's going to be a spectacle. Sports are alive and well across Nebraska, let me tell you that much.
All right, we're a week away from Nebraska football a little bit more. We're about 9 days away from them getting going. Gunnar Gatula named a starter yesterday, essentially from Matt Rule being like, yeah, he's going to start for us. Where, we don't know yet, but just can you speak to, because you've been there, like, and you've been covering him now for a couple of years, like, how Gunnar has kind of grown into this role from being a guy who's thrown in the fire quickly to getting hurt last year to now just clearly being one of the best guys to the point where they have to play him.
Yeah, he just keeps his head down and works. Like, he's been dealt a little bit of a difficult hand with injuries, and that can, as we've seen with some players, really make or break a career, literally, even if you do come back healthy. But he's put in the hours in the weight room. He listens to what coaches say when it comes to nutrition, and the weight room with Campbell and with Coggin when it comes to nutrition. He's gained the right weight, put on the right muscle, and put in the work, staying late. Coach Rule loves him. He's a model for the type of blue-collar work ethic Nebraska kid Nebraska wants and has had. And it's really cool to see a kid from Lincoln Southeast go from, where he was to now earning this starting job. And it's just, he's earned it. Like, that kid's worked. So I'm really excited to see him play here soon.
Are we getting a KETV like football special, preseason special? Is that in the works at all? A regular season kind of preview?
We have a preview. It is in the works.
Okay.
And I don't remember what day it's airing, so I'm the horrible spokesperson. We're dealing with a million things right now. We have a preseason special, half hour. I think it's the Wednesday before the season opener.
Okay.
So tune in then. We do have stories and stuff lined up. That's the good news. The content's there, but man, there's a lot going on.
Yeah. So you're here. So you're currently in Dallas. Then you're coming back tomorrow, if I get that correctly.
Yeah.
And then
we're flying in at 9:30, or we land we land around 11:30, and then I'm turning around, and I'll be live at like probably 5 and 6 tomorrow night.
Okay, because you said that you were going to the Millard South, Millard North game tomorrow, and I was like, that is a quick turnaround. Good for you. Absolutely.
Pray for no delays. I've heard horror stories out of the Dallas airport.
Real quick, you've been around the team. It just kind of seems like from a outside perspective, but you've been, around them in person. It just seems like the Nebraska volleyball team, they just reek of confidence right now. I mean, is that an accurate statement, or do you think that there is a little bit of I don't want to call it tension, but pressure, when it comes to how big of a season this is for them?
Yeah. You ask anyone around the Nebraska volleyball program, and they'll say the same thing. They say pressure is a privilege. And that when you come to Nebraska to play volleyball, that you have extended eyes on you, that there are big expectations to not only win, but to have a winning streak, to win a national championship, and now to set unprecedented records and grow the sport. So these young women are under a tremendous amount of pressure. Coach Busboom Kelly's under a tremendous amount of pressure, but it's nothing new to them. So yes, they are so confident. I think I said it a couple weeks ago. They are it's the same team with the 3 new freshmen, and the margin between who starts and who doesn't is so thin. That's how good they are. And they want to win a national championship. The difference this year is they're enjoying the journey to get there a little bit more. I think last year they got a little bit too caught up in the end goal, and they're very much so trying to stay day to day, live in the present. And, if it is these seniors last year in a Husker uniform, like they want to soak it in one last time.
There are a lot of YouTube commenters right now that are very worried for you flying out of DFW. Does the Dallas Fort Worth airport, does that scare you at all in terms of delays? It doesn't have the greatest rep.
What are they? Oh, someone send me an email, you guys. Twitter DM. What do I need to look out for? If we need to. Oh.
There are multiple people who are very concerned about you having a quick turnaround out of DFW. So
okay.
We'll send thoughts. We'll send prayers. Hopefully. Hopefully,
Peas and peas.
Yes, hopefully that you'll be at the Millard South, Millard North game, and if you're not, we can blame Dallas Fort Worth. That's what we'll just. Blame.
Oh man, yeah, I hope so. I guess wish me luck tomorrow. We'll find out. Keep
Absolutely.
you guys updated.
All right. Well, Lauren Michelson, we won't let you. We won't keep you any longer. You got a lot of B-roll. Are they still practicing right now? They still warming up?
Yeah, I just walked away from my little area, and they're still practicing serve and pass right now. Treya Sigler just did a jump serve. They look good. They look confident.
Well, Andy Kennedy would want you to get all the B-roll that you possibly could. So we won't stop you from doing that any longer. We'll let you go. Lauren Michelson of KETV. We'll talk to you soon. All right.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
All right. LM of KETV. That's a quick turnaround. I thought I was going to be working a lot next week.
She is jet setting and
so they're going to have her do this tonight.
Zigzagging all over this great country of ours.
I believe. Didn't she say more? So she might do a live shot tomorrow for the morning show, then get on a plane, land, go straight to the Millard South, Millard North game. Probably have to go to a couple of more games. I'm a little worried about her sleep schedule.
Yeah, generally those high school anchors, they zigzag to like 3 different.
At least 3 games. At least. Kevin Suits has been known to go like to 5, maybe even 6.
Well, he's a sicko.
Well, yeah, but Kevin's like the type of guy where it's like he'll be leaving a game, but then he'll look up on his phone like other high schools that might be by him that he can quickly
that's the way to do it, right? You can't be like, okay, I'll go to Gretna, Bennington, and Central all in one night. Like, you got to plan it.
Oh, I've been a part of one high school football broadcast in which it saw me go to Beatrice.
Goo.
And
whatever you're about to say next is a horrible combination.
It was Beatrice, and I forget the other one. I forget. I went down to Beatrice, and then on my way back up, I caught some film, and then went the other way, and then went back to Lincoln. So I only had to do 2 games, but I was an intern. Who cared? Like I was a nobody.
We'll use you up, chew you up, spit
I was
you out.
I was a gremlin. I mean, my internship at 1011 was literally being Kevin Suits' editor. I would just edit his scripts.
Yeah, You know, that one lady's going viral for her. What was your first job
Yeah,
in sports
so
media tweet?
Butanomy or whatever.
And what did it pay? And I'm like, oh, we can't give you the real answers because it's
free.
You know, I did this for free for the experience. And, you know,
what does she
there
mean
will
by
be attorneys coming at us?
What does she mean by first job? Like, does she mean first paying job or does she mean first full-time job?
Great question.
Because my first job was doing news for $12 an hour.
Whoa, you guys are getting paid for this?
You know, that was my first job. But I was in a different era, right? Like, unpaid internships don't exist nearly as much as they used to because people now recognize, number one, the cost of living is insane. And number two, it's like free labor ain't passing anymore. You can't, I mean, those days are done. Now, back in, you know, the early 2000s, when you were cutting your teeth, unpaid internships were all that were there, really.
I did stringing at high school football games for 1620 The Zone. And my big reward was at the end of the season, I got to come into the studio.
No way.
And say which teams I thought were good.
No way.
Yeah.
That's tough. Yeah, I can't have, I guess I was born with the broadcasting silver spoon up my new, you know what, you know? Kids these days, even in broadcasting, it's so easy.
You don't know how good you got it.
No, I don't. I have no clue. I love it when people tell me that I'm not grateful for the things that I have. Middays with Matt on the 1620 The Zone Radio Network.
Grunt the Slate, Grunt the Slate, Grunt the Slate. I'm gonna grunt the Slate. Grunt the Slate. Gonna grunt the Slate. Grunt the Slate, Grunt the Slate. Grunt the Slate. Grunt the Slate.
It's time! 5 rounds to Grunt the Slate as Josh Hodson. Here's all of the games that we will be watching this week.
Folks, you hear it a lot, but we have never been more back than we are right now.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
This is my first time being the mediator of Grunt the Slate.
That's right. Happy to help you through it.
I have a lot of games on my CBS Sports app.
Okay.
Like if you want to grunt Lehigh versus at Holy Cross.
It wouldn't be my first choice, but I understand that.
I essentially here's my thing, real quick. I'm sorry for spoilers.
It's okay.
People.
It's
I
okay.
feel like this is. Hey, can we have an off-air meeting real quick?
Absolutely.
Time
out.
Right.
Time
out. We got 2 left. So I got 7 games on ESPN, and it's like the 7. It's got like all the games that like you would want, but I feel like we're gonna get 7 grunts. We don't want 7 grunts. We want more than 7 grunts. But then I have 37,000 games on CBS Sports, and I feel like you don't need to grunt VMI versus Idaho State.
No, let's do the Saturday slate.
No, this is the Saturday slate.
Oh, I have 8 games on Saturday.
I have. Oh, okay, is that enough for you?
Yeah.
Is that enough grunt?
Yeah.
All right.
We don't. I mean, it's.
Is this like a preseason
Yeah.
grunt?
Let's dip our toes in the water, baby.
Okay, but I want to.
Don't be scared.
I want to put my whole body in the Grunt the Slate.
I mean, we'll get there.
I want to explore the space of Grunt the Slate.
It's a long season. We're going to be grunting for months.
You're going to be grunting for months.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Ready to go back to the listener?
Yeah. I'm
okay.
ready.
Cool. You ready?
Break.
All right.
We're
Cool.
ready. We're ready.
That was a good meeting.
Mhm.
We just had to clarify some things. So this is going to be because you guys weren't in our meeting. This is going to be kind of like a preseason Grunt the Slate. It's not going to be like the 37 games that you typically. This is going to be like 8 games. Okay. All right. Are you ready, Josh Hodson?
I am prepared.
North Carolina versus TCU in Dublin.
Yes! Oh, yeah! Can you feel that, buddy? Huh? I have exercised the demon.
This game is admittedly elevated because it's our first game back, and quite frankly, I think North Carolina is going to be a train wreck again this year. And I love watching train wrecks who go to Dublin. Okay.
Is that your favorite thing?
My favorite thing.
That sounds like a Bill Simmons movie category.
It really does, actually.
What are the top 4 train wrecks who have been to Ireland?
Kansas last year, Nebraska. That Northwestern team that beat Nebraska was not great either.
No, they've all been train wrecks.
Yeah.
San Jose State at USC.
Just a quick little. Got my eye on USC.
NC State at Virginia.
Have you seen the injury report?
There's like 16 players on there.
There
for
are
the
literally
Musketeers.
16 Cavaliers that are
Cavaliers
out for Virginia. It's okay. It's okay.
Keep calling them the Musketeers. I
Everybody-
feel like that's a better name for them.
I would agree with that, actually.
The Virginia Musketeers.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to need it. I think the Musketeers should be cleared to play.
Mm-hmm.
Jacksonville State at Mountain West North Dakota State.
Fargo Dome's going to be rocking for their first game as an BS team, whatever conference they're in. I don't know. They're bigger than they were last year. I don't know.
A lot of things for people get bigger from year to year. Sacramento State at Eastern Michigan.
Not into it.
Yeah.
I know Sac State's bigger than it was last year, but not for me, Clive.
Hawaii at Stanford.
Oh.
Okay, how about this? Hawaii at Stanford, but it's 2011.
Oh, let's go.
That's a more accurate.
Yeah.
Now it'd be New Mexico State at Florida State.
I have some ties to Florida State that will have me watching this game, but I don't like it.
Who are you tied to?
Last year's national championship quarterback for Iowa Western, Malachi Marshall, is on the Florida State Seminoles this year. Also, the boards have him slated as QB2 in Tallahassee. Interesting.
You're reading the Tallahassee boards?
You got to read the Tallahassee boards.
No, you don't.
You do.
This is the type of crap I would do.
If you want to cover this sport properly, you got to be on warchant.com or whatever the hell it's called.
This game is on the CW.
Yeah. Which is now on your ESPN app.
Do you know who's on the call?
It's got to be Tom Brenneman.
It's Tom Brenneman.
Absolutely.
As Castellanos hits a deep one to left field. Memphis at UNLV.
9 o'clock start. It's that last game of the night. It's on Big Fox for some reason. Yeah, I'm watching.
That might be a G6 playoff decider. Yeah. No? I mean, both. I mean, Memphis is, they've lost a lot, including their head coach. But UNLV, they are a pick for a lot of people to be the
Careful.
G6. Like a G6, like a G6.
I remember that song.
The G6 CFP. I was about to say honoree qualifier. And so if they were to lose this game, it'd actually be pretty bad for UNLV, which has gotten plenty of top 25 votes. So very, very entertaining. That's it. That's our slate.
I would like.
You want one more?
I would like a college kickoff game. What happened to the Kickoff Classic? Did we not do that? Is it 1987?
All right. I feel like we got to get grunts out for people.
Okay.
Do we want to let's just grunt next Thursday's slate.
I don't know where you're going.
Just grunt it. Let's just grunt.
I'll go wherever you take us.
I just want you to grunt.
Okay.
All right. I'm just going to give you next Thursday's slate and you grunt.
This is college?
This is college.
Okay.
Next Thursday's college slate.
Thursday college
You just grunt. I just want you to grunt.
Okay.
All right. Massachusetts at Rutgers.
Ugh.
Bethune-Cookman at UCF. Akron at Wake Forest. Merrimack at Delaware. West Georgia at Kennesaw State. UAlbany at Buffalo. Arkansas Pine Bluff at Missouri. Colorado at Georgia Tech. Eastern Illinois at Minnesota. Idaho at Utah. UAB at Illinois. You just love Brett Bielema and whoever took over for Trent Dilfer.
Trent Dilfer got fired because he sucks. People forget.
All right, I just want you to keep grunting.
Did you lose your microphone?
I did. It just ran away from me.
Interesting.
Red Sox at Yankees. Dodgers at Tigers.
Dodgers at Tigers.
White Sox at Twins. Pirates at Cardinals.
Pass.
Reds at Cubs. Mariners at Blue Jays.
ALCS rematch.
What a terrible loss yesterday from Seattle. Both Houston lost and Texas lost, and then they lost. They could have gained a whole game on the entire ALS yesterday. Marlins at Nationals. Diamondbacks at Giants. Royals at Guardians. Rockies at Braves.
We love you, Tim Curry.
It's the best team in the NL playing the worst team in the NL. You got that big of a grunt? What is grunt inflation in this economy?
I ride with my guys. The grunts don't have to make sense to anyone but me.
The gruntflation is a little ridiculous.
I like gruntflation.
Gruntflation is crazy. I mean, this economy cannot withstand more gruntflation. Padres at Rays.
Oh, give me a cigarette.
Rangers at Brewers.
That's actually a meaningful series. Padres at Rays. A lot of people don't think that.
Oh, it's a great series.
What was the game you just?
Rangers at Brewers. Red Sox at Yankees again.
Yes, it's baseball. They play each other 3 times.
No. It's a doubleheader.
Oh, that's right. Saturday they play 2.
It's a double. What do you mean I don't know baseball?
I got one.
That's my grunt.
Who does number 2 work for?
Because they're playing 2.
Buddy. You show that turd who's boss.
You get it? You guys get it?
Phillies at the Angels, 9:07 p.m. first pitch Saturday.
Go Halos.
Oh. All right.
I'm tired. I have not grunted a slate in many a month.
I needed that.
But I'm glad it's back.
I needed that. We needed that.
You know what? You know who else is glad that it's back? Our bosses, our sponsors, because this, for some reason, is the segment y'all have gravitated towards.
I'm glad we put one in the books.
Yeah.
We haven't put a grunt in the books in a while.
Biggest improvement in a Grunt the Slate season is between Grunts 1 and Grunt 2.
Everybody knows that. Look, we're just getting 1% better at our grunts
That's
every
right.
day.
I feel like we went 1-0 this week.
Wasn't
pretty, but we went out there and we got the job done.
I'm just proud of the guys who could get out there and grunt a slate that isn't themselves. We've been grunting each other for months now. And to get out there and finally grunt something that isn't one another has been really good for us.
Just happy to grunt something in a different jersey.
Exactly. And, to have that experience, it's only going to make us better. But at the same time, we can't get satisfied with our grunts. Oh, my God. Mike goes, can I sponsor Grunt the Slate?
Anything on 1620 The Zone can be sponsored. Contact our sales department.
Seriously, we don't everybody's got a price for the $1 million mic. Okay.
If you're like, hey, I like that doorknob that I see in the studio, I'd like to sponsor it. You can sponsor it.
Hey, Cinna goes, this is a lot of self-grunt talk. Hey, you got to be able to grunt yourself before you can grunt others. All right.
Accountability.
You got to be able to look yourself in the mirror and grunt it out. All right. Do some grunt flexion, if you will.
Grunt.
All right.
This is a bit I can get on board with, just putting grunt in front of every word.
What? I mean, I'm shocked that Happer never thought of this. Just get some grunt flexion.
Yeah.
Kenneth goes, Matt's Dog of the Day brought to you by Bet Free Mike.
It would be ironic.
Baymon goes, Cinna? Yeah. What is it supposed to be?
Kina.
Kina?
It's okay.
That's Kina?
Yeah.
No, that's Cinna from Hunger Games. He's like, what's that beautiful man with the curly hair who sings I Want to Fly Away? Or I Want to Get Away. Lenny Kravitz plays Cinna in Hunger Games. Lenny Kravitz. What a beautiful human.
Now, that's just facts.
I mean,
I can't sit here and disagree with you.
We can grunt a Lenny Kravitz slate any day.
We all saw that time where his pants split open. We all saw it.
Well, when he performed at the Grammys with one of the Quavo guys, with one of the
Quavo guys? Quavo is a human.
Sorry, who's one of the Migos? He performed it with one of the Migos.
I cannot be telling you the ins and outs of Migos. That's a you job.
I know she a freak. I know that she freaking.
Careful.
I know she a freak, super freak. But please don't try to run game on me. I'm not a PlayStation. Please don't try to run game on me.
I assume this is a Migos song.
Yeah, that's the only Migos song I know.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't know
who
sings Bad and Bougie?
Oh yeah, that's another one.
Yeah.
And Crockpot. What's the stirring the things in the Crockpot?
I don't know. We should go to break and discuss it.
Yeah, let's go to break. Let's talk Husker football coming up next here at Middays with Matt.
Good luck with that, Dan.
Welcome to 1620 The Zone's Readout Week, presented by Union Bank and Trust. At UBT, people don't have your money has people. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Talked to Lauren Michelson a couple of about like 30 minutes ago. She talked about how she's going tomorrow to the Millard South Millard North game, but there will be a game, pretty interesting game tonight, broadcasted on television. I think it'll be on NPM, but I know it'll be on TV. Westside plays Creighton Prep tonight.
Hello.
Should be a very, very good game between dude.
I just grunt now.
No, seriously, that'd be a very big grunt on the slate. I should have put that in the slate.
I'm gonna give it a triple grunt.
Westside versus Creighton Prep going to be a super, super physical game. I forget what channel the high school games are on. Look at me. I'm such a POS. But anyway, that'll be on your local.
It's on the local CW.
Yeah.
At 7 o'clock.
I encourage anybody to watch it. I think it'll be if you're into football and you just want to watch a football game, you're not going to know the
Tom Brenneman not on the call.
No, Gary Sharp on the call. So
way better.
A lot better.
Seriously. Just about every single way.
Gary, and I mean, I've always thought Gary has such a great passion for high school football. He is always.
They do a great job with that broadcast.
They really do a high quality job with that broadcast. They put a lot of resources into that broadcast. Gary also just cares a ton about high school football. When we were hosting together, like I would try, and which is why I did enjoy doing the high school broadcast with Jimmy Allen. Jimmy helped put it together, but did the broadcast with John Schreiner. And I enjoyed doing those high school broadcasts with John because it would get me up to speed just enough to feed questions to Gary to talk about high school football, and he just has a wealth of knowledge about it, and just very good at broadcasting it. So obviously I think it'll be a very good broadcast tonight put together by that squad. On top of it'll be just a very, very entertaining game between Creighton Prep and Westside. Obviously, when we talked to Austin Jacobson last week, we were talking about, hey, Class A and who's going to be competitive there. And, obviously talking about Millard North and Millard South, why tomorrow's game is going to be absolutely packed between those two squads. But Westside and Prep, definitely two teams that Austin brought up that are right there in the competition in terms of who's the best in high school football. So should be a very good game tonight on the local CW with G Sharp on the call. All right. So full transparency. I listened to I watched 3 interviews of Nebraska football before yesterday's show.
Hello.
Yesterday's show, which was the Jamal Rule press conference, the Glenn Thomas press conference, and the EJ Barthel press conference. So I had running backs on my mind. And then I realized I go, oh wow, I didn't watch Satterfield talk. So I went listen to Sat talk. And something that Sat said sparked my brain. And then I started thinking about Barthel and his presser. And EJ was asked very early on, who's looking to be the number 1 running back right now in your group? And Barthel said, ask the head coach. He's like, that's a question for Coach Rule. And I just think that that's a question that is a moot point. It doesn't really matter a whole lot because the strength of the running back room, right, is not the bell cow. The strength of the running back room is not the guy that you can give the ball to 75% of the time, 77% of the time. The strength of the running back room is not the Jonathan Taylor, the Braylon Allen, the Monty Ball, the Amir Abdullah, the Rex Burkhead, where you can just say, hey, go be a workhorse. It's not the Emma Johnson, where you say, hey, go get the job done. The strength of the running back room is its diversity in skill. The strength of the running back room is the versatility it brings to the play caller. Don't ask me. Ask EJ Barthel, who said it in his press conference a couple of days ago. This is what EJ said when he was talking about the room. I think it perfectly encapsulates what they have.
Yeah, if you look back at it, I know we get a lot of heat about, the running backs and who's the guy and we didn't replace him. But you look at Mekhi, he's 4.4 speed that averaged 9 yards a touch in a bowl game without, with an explosive run called back. You got Isaiah Mosley, like I said, he's 215 pounds that can run slot routes. That runs 4.5, 4.4. You got Jamal Rule, who's 215 pounds that runs 4.4. He's physical. He can run inside. He can run outside. Quentin Ives is 215 pounds who can block and protection. He's athletic enough to run routes, catch out of the backfield, who's shown in the bowl game he can be useful in short yardage and protection.
Like that's the question shouldn't be who's your number one running back, because they're going to use all of them. They're going to use all three of them. They're going to put them in different situations. They're going to line them up differently. They're going to use Mosey in some, he talked about being creative in the pass game. They're going to have some, a movement, pre-snap movement where maybe Isaiah starts to the backfield and they moves to the slot. Maybe Isaiah starts to the slot. He moves to the backfield. Maybe he does an orbit motion. They get him moving out one way, thinking they're going to swing past him. They hand out to Mekhi, countering the other way. The point is that the question doesn't need to be who's the number one running back, because it's not like you have Price versus Love, where it's like, I wonder who's going to get the bulk of these carries. No, they understand what they have. They have a multitude of different types of backs that they can use in different ways. So I'm not worried about who the number one running back is. But there is a player that I think if he can emerge and he can find himself some playing time, and he can carve himself a role in this offense, it could make life a lot more interesting, creative, and maybe even easier for Dana Holgorsen. It ain't Jamal Rule. It ain't Mekhi Nelson. It ain't Isaiah Mosey. It's actually not a running back. It's a tight end. Eric Ingwerson, I think, could be a very interesting piece for this team. And once again, there might be some people listening to me saying, who's Eric Ingwerson? Listen to his tight ends coach, Marcus Satterfield.
We challenged him in the all season after the season just to strengthen his lower body, and he's working. Corey's done a really nice job. Those guys in the weight room are getting him to a place where he can go out and move individuals on the line of scrimmage. But I'm very excited about Eric, just his focus and work ethic from day to day, just his maturity, everything. He's taken a step in the right direction. So he's positioned himself to have a role in this offense, and that role will grow or shrink however he plays.
Ingwerson, for those who don't know, 6'7", 265 pounds, from Papillion. He's a junior. He's been in this program for a bit. If I remember correctly, he was a top 10 player and a top 40 tight end, according to ESPN, before he committed. I believe he was committed to Pitt, if I'm not mistaken. And then Nebraska was able to flip him and get him to be a tight end. Here's why I talk about Eric Ingwerson like this, and why I say I think he could be a key piece. And what was the last part that Satterfield said there? He's going to have as big of a role or as little of a role, right, that he plays himself into. And the reason why I care is, number one, very early on, somebody let me know, some intel, I guess, of, hey, he looks good. Hey, he's playing well. Hey, he's emerging as the second tight end. But I think if you're able, the point necessarily isn't so much about Ingwerson as much as it is, if you can get a second tight end, if you can get a second blocking tight end, think of how creative you could potentially be in terms of the personnel packages that you have, right? You can run 22 personnel with Nelson, Rule, with Calandria in the backfield, with two tight ends who can block in Lindenmeyer and Ingwerson. You have Calandria, Rule, and Nelson. Those are all guys who could hit their head on the goalpost. Those are all guys who can make explosive plays. You can go 22 personnel with Nelson and Mosey. Now you have the threat of Mosey lining up anywhere across the field, motioning in, motioning out. Maybe they throw a pass there, right? You got Calandria who can run. Now, throw this in there. What if you go 13 personnel? You got Ingwerson, you got Lindenmeyer, and then you throw Janier and Bonner in there. who can be a tight end, who can be a fullback, who could be a blocking wide receiver, who you can motion in, motion out. You can get the defense thinking on their toes. I think that with the more options, right, that you give Dana from a passing perspective, from a blocking perspective, from a running perspective, I think the more versatility he can have, the more creative he can be. And I think that when you have a team that does not have that superstar Heisman All-American that you can just hand the ball off to and feel good about it, which they don't have. They don't have a Jeremiah Love. They don't have a Kawan Lacey. They don't have an Ahmad Hardy. They don't have a Trinidad Chambliss. When you don't have a player of that caliber, right? This is a player that Nebraska doesn't have a top 100 player, right? In college football, according to all of the publications. When you don't have that, you need to keep the defense guessing. You need to give them multiple things to be worried about. And the question that I would ask Dana is not who's your number one running back. The question I would ask Dana is not who's your number two tight end. The question I would ask Dana is, do you find yourself using similar personnel? You find yourself using the same 2, 3, 4 packages, or do you find yourself to be a team that you use everything? You're in 22, you're in 13, you're in 12, you're in 11. Do you have wide receivers that you can go 4 wide with run, single back? Are you a team that all of a sudden as easily you can just make a couple of switches and all of a sudden you're under center and you got a fullback, right? That's what I would be asking. And so the idea of I'm not really worried about who's getting the first carry. I'm not worried about who's getting 54% of the snaps, right? I'm way more interested in, is there enough personnel on this team to make this offense, make defenses go, whoa, okay, what are they doing here? Because they got a back in the backfield who's 215 pounds, who can line up in the slot, but they got 2 tight ends who are right here, who we know that they can block the snot out of us, with a quarterback in the backfield who can run at any given point, and a 4-4 running back and Rule or Nelson who can go ahead and score a touchdown. That's where the strength could potentially lie. The strength can lie in versatility. It could lie in diversity of skill. And what is going to really play a factor into that is Dana still got it? Is he still that guy?
Huge question.
Because you can have all the pieces to a beautiful puzzle, but if you don't have the mind to put it together, then it's just a bunch of cardboard laying on a table. Does Nebraska have the prettiest cardboard laying on a table? No, I would say that LSU's cardboard is probably a little bit prettier and a little bit nicer and might be a little bit shinier, but it's enough to make something that could be effective, especially if they have more guys that they can count on to block, more guys that they can count on to run the ball, more guys that they can count on to catch the ball. I think they have the prerequisite athleticism to be explosive. It's just, do they have the pieces to put it all together? And do they have the person who can put all those pieces together? So I'm not worried. There's a reason we haven't talked about, I wonder if Nelson's, going to take the first snaps, or I wonder if Mosey's going to take they're all going to play. I talked about this with Tim Verghese 2 weeks ago. Tim, I asked Tim, I literally said to Tim, I know a lot of people are asking about who the number one running back is about to be, and Tim started laughing. Okay? Because he knows too. They're going to use multiple backs. It's just, when I hear about Ingwerson coming into his own and being given because this is what Satterfield is saying. That guy's going to be given an opportunity. He's going to be given an opportunity to earn some more snaps, to play, to show his worth. If he can do that, and they can vary up their looks, 13 personnel, man, is the wave in the NFL. You wonder if that creeps a little bit into college football. All these guys are studying everything across all levels of football. If they can go 13 personnel, but then you have a guy like Janier and Bonner who can play just about any position. Imagine if they can go 13 personnel and they can use Bonner, but then they have Mosey, where you got a guy like Bonner and a guy like Mosey, who's both has incredible receiving abilities, but then Mosey is getting into his own. And by the way, what was the play that Bonner got hurt on? It was a jet touch pass where he came across and they gave him the ball. They wanted him to run. Like, once again, I'm not worried about who the bell cow is going to be or who more than 50% of the snaps are. I'm more worried about how does Dana leverage the diversity and versatility of the weapons he has. That is the big question I have for them to be an effective offense. They have the athletes. They have the athletes to do something. Can they execute? And can they be put in advantageous opportunities to execute as well? It's going to take all hands on deck for them to be an explosive offense. But something I've loved that Sam McEwen has said on the Connor Happer show, on Happer and Schaefer multiple times is, man, it'd be great for Nebraska to be fun on offense. Like it would just be great for them not to win a tough game 13-10, but to win an awesome game 37-30. It'd be great for them to have the Trey Palmer game at Purdue, but actually win it. That would be great. I think this offense has the opportunity to do some really explosive things. It just comes down to development, execution, and really the beholder, which is Dana Holgorsen. All right. Take a break here on Middays with Matt. I just need to get that out. I'm like 20 minutes away from my weekend starting. I just need to get that football off my chest.
I like that we could do that for you.
Sometimes you just need to let the football come out of you. You just have to you just got to eradicate the football out of your body. And the football had been marinating inside of me.
We're going to be footballing all over the place the next 4 months.
I'm just going to be grunt balling everywhere. Football. Just give me 1 second. I'll have a Gatorade in 6 minutes, and I'll be ready to go with more football.
Hell yeah, brother.
College football predictions coming up next here on Middays with Matt, 1620 Zone Radio Network.
1620 The Zone's Red Out Week, presented by Union Bank and Trust. At UBT, people don't have your money has people. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC. Welcome to 1620 The Zone's Red Out Week. Presented by Union Bank and Trust. At UBT, people don't have your money has people. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC. Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Josh Hodson sees me right here like a mad scientist. All my papers, all my notes, all my stats.
Yeah, you're all over the place.
Don't forget to reach us on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. Love Liquid Trucking. I did a podcast with Liquid Trucking yesterday. Shout out to Marcus and Amanda. If you're a listener to the Liquid Trucking podcast, I did about a 40-minute college football interview with them.
Whoa.
Talking about all things college football. So go ahead, check that pod out. Liquid Trucking, an awesome sponsor here at 1620 The Zone of our Twitter feed. Also, don't forget to email us at the Equitable Bank Zone inbox at Equitable Bank. They take banking personally. They always pick up on the first ring. And don't forget, Mike Epps is coming to Omaha Saturday, September 5th at the Orpheum Theater. Listen all week to 1620 The Zone to win your way into the show. You can also get special discounted tickets for $16.20 using promo code ZONE. Using promo code ZONE, get $16.20 tickets. And we also want to remind you, it's Red Out Week, baby. It's the most comprehensive Husker coverage in Nebraska, ending with a Red Out round table on Thursday, September 3rd at Oscars. We'll be hosting Middays with Matt over there at Oscars, getting those. I have never had Oscars charred buff wings.
Oh, you have to.
I've never had them. I am so excited. I am so excited to have that. We will be having all the boys coming over at 12 o'clock, right? 12 is when they'll be coming on over. We'll be doing a round table. Red Out Week on The Zone is presented by Union Bank and Trust at UBT. People don't have your money. Your money has people. Member FDIC. All righty. It is my Friday.
That's right.
I will not be in studio tomorrow. Nick Sainer will be in here taking over. You will still be here, Josh Hodson, on the ones and twos. Very excited for you and Nick to get at it. Nick is an incredibly tenured and experienced broadcaster. Worked a lot at 93.7 The Ticket over in Lincoln. Obviously connected with Happer and Schaefer. He's been able to host here on The Zone in the morning, and now he'll be doing it tomorrow on MWM from 10A to 2P. So in saying that, because I will not be here tomorrow, we are going to do some of our college football predictions right here and right now. So here's where what I tasked Josh Hodson to do. Task Josh Hodson to pick a Heisman, pick conference winners.
Got it.
Pick a Final Four. Pick your national champion, a sleeper team, and a bust team. Okay, so I know that's a lot. We're going to get through it quickly. I also threw in my bold prediction of the college football season. I have a bold prediction of the college football season. I feel pretty confident in it. So let's start first with your Heisman. Your Heisman, Josh Hodson, is?
I believe Dante Moore of Oregon will win the Heisman.
Ding, ding. We are in agreement. If not now, when?
Yeah, well.
Yeah. He's got the best receivers and tight end duos. Well, he's got the best wide receiver tight end duo in conference outside of Ohio State, who Ohio State has the best just wide receivers in the country, period, end of story. Sure. That's a pretty high bar to clear. By the way, don't forget about Brock Boyd, South Lake Carroll, Texas.
I'm hearing it more and more.
That guy might be really good. Got a great defense behind him. Last year, I don't look, man, if you want to say that, this guy doesn't have it, to me, you just watch two games. And yeah, you watch the game where they lost to Oregon in the college football playoff, which, by the way, they lost to Indiana in the college football playoff, and Indiana did that to everybody. And then, the game they played against Indiana at home where, he threw a costly turnover. I mean, that's on him. But the team went 14-2 last year. Their only two losses were to the team that ended up going 16-0. It's a great team. I think they're going to be right back in the Final Four. To me, he is just ready to take another step under Dan Lanning, ready to take another step with a great supporting cast around him, plus 1,100 to win the Heisman, 72% completion percentage, 3,700 yards, 30 touchdowns. Got to lower that interception total just a little bit. But once again, he threw a couple of them against one of the best defenses in the country last season. I think he's going to be great. Sleeper pick. Oh, and this might hint at my bold prediction. Kevin Jennings of SMU, my sleeper pick for Heisman, plus 8,000 to win it. I think SMU, Rhett Lashley, they weren't that far from making the college football playoff yet again last season. And their schedule, I mean, they play Notre Dame on November 21st, but overall, outside of their game against Notre Dame, their next hardest game is against Louisville, which we'll get to Louisville in a second. But Kevin Jennings, plus 8,000, really great value, super athlete. He's played a ton of football. You know, got to lower the turnover just a little bit, but I think that he is an electric player. Let's go to conference winners. Who do you have as your conference winners, Josh Watson?
I did the Power Four.
Yes, that's what I did.
I hope that's all we needed.
No, that's all we needed.
In the ACC, I have written down the winner of SMU Louisville will win the ACC, and I picked Louisville.
I kind of almost went with the bit of Miami not winning the ACC despite being its best team. I just think, once again, they dipped in the portal. They were awesome in the portal. I think Darian Mensah, I'm with Happer and Schaefer. I think that kid's going to be a stud. I picked Miami to win the ACC. Big 12, it's BYU, man.
That's what I got
BYU
too.
all day. End of story. I don't understand. Like, Will Hammond is the quarterback for Texas Tech. He tore his ACL like in October. Like, and he was mid to begin with. BYU.
That's a Patrick Mahomes copier. Texas Tech, torn ACL.
BYU kept all 10 of their all Big 12 players that were eligible to return in 2026. They also added the number one transfer linebacker in the class. They were great on defense last season. I think they're going to be really good on defense again. And their true freshman quarterback, Bear Bachmeier, is back. He was one of the best freshman QBs in the league. And then LJ Martin had a league-high 1,305 yards last season. He's back. I love the continuity. I love Kalani Sitake. I love the talent that they have, the talent that they kept, and the talent that they brought in. I'm sorry, man. Like, Texas Tech had a great roster last year, but even with, mid quarterback play, they got spanked by Oregon pretty bad in the college football playoff, and they also lost to Arizona State. I'm going to go with BYU to win it, man. I don't really love the vibes over at Texas Tech, and you still got Joey McGuire talking a lot about Brendan Sorsby and all that stuff. Take me BYU to win the Big 12. Who do you have for the SEC?
I have Georgia, but it's really by default.
Yeah, me too. In Kirby we trust is kind of my pick here. I just trust Kirby more than I trust Venables, more than I trust Sark, more than I trust DeBoer. I just think that with the talent that they brought in, with the coaching they have. I also am a Gunnar Stockton guy. I was a Gunnar Stockton guy when Beck first went down. Love the athleticism that he had. I think he really blossomed and showed the type of player that he was in that Tennessee game. I think he showed the type of player he was in that shootout against Ole Miss. Obviously, Trinidad Chambliss, who is becoming the consensus best quarterback in the country right now, obviously outdueled him, but I still love what they have over there in that gunslinger. All right, your Big Ten champion is?
I'm going to go Oregon here.
Me too. So we got Oregon, Georgia, BYU. We're all in agreement with that. And then you picked Louisville to win the ACC. I picked Miami to win the ACC. Your final four. Josh,
my final four is Oregon, Ohio State, Notre Dame, and the SEC champion, I don't know, Georgia.
Okay. I went Georgia versus Notre Dame in one semifinal. I've gone Indiana versus Oregon.
Oh, okay.
In a second semifinal. Your final is what, Josh Hodson?
I will go Notre Dame versus Ohio State.
And you pick whom? Who?
I believe y'all done messed up last year when you left these boys out. You've angered them.
Ha!
They're coming for it. It's an unfinished business season, and I believe the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame handle their business and win it all.
I'm afraid we've worked together too much.
Oh, no.
I have Notre Dame playing Indiana in the national championship in the battle for the state's soul, for the state's football soul.
Whoa. That would be wild.
Yeah. That's why I picked it. I was going for storyline.
Okay.
I was like, do you know how sick that would be? Where it's like Notre Dame is like, no, this is our football state. And Indiana goes, there's a new sheriff in town, buddy boy. And the fight for Indiana's college football soul is won by the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. They're just top to bottom so complete. They're so complete. They're so deep. They have 3 to 4 guys basically in every position outside of quarterback that you can rely on. Their offensive line is awesome. Their tight ends they got so many different options there. A super talented wide receiver room where they even dipped into the portal, even getting some returning production coming back. That secondary is absolutely loaded. I love Notre Dame, and I love Indiana. I don't doubt that Indiana is going to go back to the national championship. I think this Indiana team, you can make the argument it's more talented this year than it was the year prior. You can make a legitimate argument that this Indiana team is more talented this season than last season. I think Hoover is a perfect. It's not just about like, oh, Cignetti turned around quarterbacks. Like, oh, he's going to turn around this one. Like, no, Hoover is, with how often they like to throw, Indiana does, and the rapid pace in which they're throwing offense is, quick decisions. I think Hoover is a great, great fit for this Indiana Hoosier football team in their offensive perspective. And then I feel like they just have a lot of talent coming back on the Indiana on the defensive side. They bring in A.J. Harris, the cornerback from Penn State. I love what Indiana has. At the same time, I think ND is just way too complete. All right, sleeper team for me. I have 2.
I have 3.
I have UCLA. Brings 10 guys. Bob Chesney. He's won everywhere.
I thought about that.
Everywhere that he's won, everywhere that he's gone, he has won. He's like, even at Holy Cross, like he like broke records in terms of, the type of winning that they did over there. I think he's just a brilliant coach in a really good area of the country to recruit and get guys in. But on top of just, all right, hey, you can go and recruit guys over there. But he also brought in 10 of his own JMU guys where, I'm going to bet on the coach who brings in his talent from a previous college football playoff team. Additionally, you look at their schedule and it's not overly challenging just from a pure wins perspective. And the teams that they're going to be playing, it's also not overly challenging from a travel perspective as well. At California, San Diego State, Purdue, Maryland, I think that's 4-0 right away. At Oregon is a loss, but then home for Wisconsin, home for Michigan State, home for Nevada. I think you can go 3-0 right then and there. Then at Minnesota, home for Illinois. You split that, and you split the end of at Michigan and home for USC. If you can go 2-2 in November, I think you're looking at a team that could possibly win 9 games next season for UCLA. So there's my sleeper. And then I have Louisville as my sleeper. You picked them to win the ACC, 13th overall transfer portal ranked this season. Lincoln Kienholz is their quarterback. He's the young man that lost to Julian Sane in a tight quarterback battle last year. Jeff Brom is known to just get quarterbacks going in the right direction. That's kind of his specialty. And I think that this is his best overall roster that he's had since he's been at Louisville. So I have UCLA and Louisville as my 2 sleepers. Your 3 are whom?
Well, I didn't know how low we had to get for it to be considered a sleeper. So is BYU a sleeper?
Sure. I think yes. I'd agree.
And then I had Louisville, as I said. I don't think we're talking about North Dakota State.
Nice, Josh.
As a team that can, do some damage.
And now they're in the Mountain West. They could be in the college football playoff. Yeah. Will they be the first G5 team to win a college football playoff game?
Whoa.
You want to make that prediction?
Sure, why not? Nobody will remember it.
I'll make let's do our bus team real quick. Who do you have here as your bus team?
I have 4. I'll just list them.
Go ahead.
Texas Tech. They have the 8th best odds to win the national championship, and they lost their quarterback this offseason.
Yeah, I think that's
I have Miami just because I had Louisville, so I have to have Miami as a bust. Ole Miss, I don't think they can replicate it without Kiffin there. And USC, I don't buy in that their defense is going to be fixed.
Mine is going to be USC. Here's I have a couple of reasons why.
I know Gary's there and he's going to fix it up, but I got to see it first.
Let me say this about Gary Patterson. I have a ton of respect for everything that he's accomplished in his career.
Big butt coming.
Has it passed him by?
Is he the Dana Holgerson of defense?
He was 21-21 in his last 4 seasons at TCU.
500 record, not good enough. A lot of people around here saying that.
I understand that you have a massive sample size of his great defenses, but it's one of those things where is the game leaving him before he leaves the game? Like that, I think that's a fair question to be asked. And Danton Lin was this hot, sexy, fancy, holy crap hire that they made from UCLA. And in 2 years, the defense didn't spark. Is it going to happen with Gary Patterson? Who knows? I'm really not a massive Jaded Mailava guy. I understand a lot of people are. I'm not taken aback by his game, as I think he's very good at a lot. I don't think he's great.
To put up some numbers and you'll go, wow, those are numbers.
And I think he gets a Lincoln Riley bump, but I just don't view him as like, oh my God, what a just generational talent. And then, they have massive questions in the secondary. They have a lot of holes that they need to fill. Their travel schedule is brutal, right? They have the first 3 games are at home, but then they go at Rutgers, East Coast. Then they come back to play Oregon. They stay in the East Coast to play stay in the West Coast to play Washington. Then they go back to the East Coast to play Penn State. They take a bye, then to go back out to Madison, Wisconsin, to then come back home to play Ohio State. They get another bye before they go back out to the East Coast to play Indiana, back home for Maryland.
And that Penn State game is the whiteout game.
Yeah. I don't think they're good enough to beat any of the big 3. I don't think they're going to beat Ohio State, Indiana, or Oregon, which is what they would need to do to make the college football playoff. And then I think the travel schedule is going to wear this team down, and I think they'll go oopsie and they'll drop another game against a team that they shouldn't be. Maybe they lose to Wisconsin. Maybe they lose to Penn State. Maybe they, slip up to UCLA, who's got a ton of momentum heading into that final game of the season. I do not think that the environment around USC and just what they've brought in to solve some of their problems, I don't think it gets them over the hump. I don't think they go to the college football playoff, which a lot of people predicted them to do. I'm not. So I'm gonna predict them as my bust team. All right, that's our college football predictions right here. Here's my final bold take before we hit a break. 2 teams from the ACC will make the playoffs this year. Whoa! 2 teams from the ACC will make the playoffs this year. You look at SMU and at Louisville's schedule. If Louisville beats Ole Miss and SMU goes 10-2 and they don't cannibalize each other too much, I think they're going to be okay.
SMU and Louisville don't play anybody.
They play 0. Okay, so whoever wins that SMU Louisville game has the inside track to be the second team to make to the college football playoff from the ACC.
They don't play Miami. They don't play Clemson. They don't play Florida State.
Especially if Louisville can beat Ole Miss to begin the year. That would be massive for Jeff Brom and the Cardinals. All right, we went a little late. Don't matter. Take a break as what to watch and Dog of the Day coming up next. got to get going. What are we watching?
We are watching college football. It is back.
Yes, we are.
Tonight on
we are.
ESPN Plus. No FBS games, but
Who cares?
We can do a little opposition research. The Sharks of Long Island are in North Dakota to take on the Hawks. 7 o'clock on ESPN Plus. High school football, same time on KXVO, the CW. It's Prep and West Side tonight. NFL, final week of the preseason begins. Steelers, Bills at 6 on NFL Network. Pats, Browns, 7 o'clock on Prime. And the battle for Los Angeles, Rams, Chargers, 9 o'clock on NFL Network. MLB, 7-game slate tonight on the Diamond. We're watching the Nationals beat the Rockies right now, 4-1. The Rockies have left 10 runners on base. It's the 5th inning. And then Dodgers, Braves tonight, 6 o'clock on FS1. Yamamoto versus Sale as the Bravos go for the sweep. Volleyball tonight, number 1 Nebraska takes on number 17 Florida. 7 o'clock on TNT. It is Spikes Under the Lights. It is an exhibition match / tournament at Gerald World in Dallas. Best of 3. It's not a traditional volleyball game where they're playing best of 5. It is best of 3 tonight. The winner of Nebraska-Florida takes on the winner of, Penn State and SMU for $1 million in NIL. Doubleheader on the W on Prime tonight. Golden State, New York at 7, followed at 9 by Washington taking on the Phoenix Mercury.
Don't forget, Umar Nurmagomedov fights tomorrow, 5 a.m.
Okay. Oh, 5 a.m.
5 a.m. Umar.
I will step on his throat until the man chokes. Let me tell you how.
Dog.
Winners.
Dog.
Winners.
Dog.
Winners.
Dog.
Winners.
Dog.
Winners. I'm on a roll.
Dude, you gotta love dogs, right?
Gotta love dogs. And I love
Dogs
college football. We're gonna have starting next week. We're gonna have a Madman of the Week where I go. Hey, this is my Madman prediction of the week. Here is mine. I'm going to go with North Carolina plus 285 to beat TCU in Ireland.
Whoa! Okay.
Some bad vibes happening in TCU.
Yeah.
Some weird journalism things are happening. Things are getting weird. They're pulling press credentials from people for reporting stories that honestly journalism is there for them to report on.
Interesting.
I wasn't a big fan. I don't know if you've seen all that. I don't want to dive too deeply into it, but it's a little concerning that's kind of
Imagine pulling a credential for not liking someone.
Imagine pulling a credential for doing your job, which I felt like that TCU reporter was doing. Anyway, regardless of that, let's go with UNC. UNC just announced Jordan is the interim defensive coordinator. Very funny, Kenneth. I'll go with UNC to beat TCU in Ireland. Hey, it's Ireland. Weird things happen. Strange things occur. All right, we're going to take a break. I'll see y'all on Monday. Nick Sainert will be in this chair for me tomorrow. Thank you all so much for listening to Middays with Matt. USC and the Crossover coming up next.